Welcome to the Undisputed podcast. I'm your host, Jenny Taft. This podcast is the full show from today's episode of Undisputed from start to finish. They've got a busy slate, so skip Shannon, let's get to it. Welcome to Undisputed. We are live from Los Angeles. I'm Jenny Taft here with Skip Bayless, Shannon Sharpe. Good morning.
Hi, Jenny. How are you?
Good.
Somebody's probably going to try to make the case that we now have dissension in our Cowboy locker room. I don't know. That's what you do to me. You put words in my mouth every day.
So you know.
So I was going to preempt what you were going to say because somebody will try to make that case.
Why would I do that?
You know, the ice is about to thaw and good things are start to heat up.
Well, it needs to be $50 million in that thawed ice.
Okay.
That's what Zeke said.
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah, we're good.
We got tons to get to today. Do you agree with Kobe that Shaq wasted his chance to be the GOAT? We got some good quotes there. And will Gronk make a comeback? But we are going to start with Ezekiel Elliott and the Cowboys. While Zeke continues his holdout in Cabo, the rest of his team is preparing for the regular season. After practice yesterday, Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin seemed confident that the players they already have in Dallas, including Zeke's rookie backup, Tony Pollard. So, guys, this is interesting. He's already making a comment that he is liking the team. He's confident in Tony Pollard. This is a guy you've been excited about. So, Shannon, do you like that Zach Martin is talking about Tony Pollard as someone who's dominant for this team and could be a real impact for the Cowboys?
I like what he said, and I like the manner in which he said it, Skip. And I think, you know, and people are like, well, you hated what the Steelers said. But let's look at what the Steelers said.
They turned.
Right. Let's look at what the Steelers said as opposed to what Zach Martin said about Tony Pollard.
All right.
Mike Pouncey said, Le'Veon is selfish.
Yep.
I guess it's Le'Veon over the Steelers.
Yep.
We're the Steelers. Ramon Foster says, he doesn't give a damn about us. We'll treat it as such.
Yep.
He's making 7 times what I'm making.
I think it's Marquise Pouncey. Right?
Marquise, what I said?
Go ahead. Not Mike. Go
okay,
ahead.
Marquise Pouncey.
Yeah, got it.
You see what they
I
said,
agree.
And now you look at what Zach Martin said. Zach Martin says, look, we're approaching the season. And as a leader, this is what he's supposed to say, Skip.
Yep.
As a leader of this football team, we're getting ready to approach the season. Now, we're going to have to go to work with whomever we have.
Yep.
Now, I like the guy that we have back there. Do I like Zeke? I know what Zeke represents. But if Zeke's not here, we can't forfeit the season. We can't say, you know what? We don't have our best player, so we're just going to take these first couple of weeks off until we get him. He's trying to convey a message that, look, guys, I have confidence that when we go first game of the season and the Giants come to us, no matter who we have, we're going to be ready to play. We love Tony Pollard. We love what he's been able to do. But Zach Martin is fooling himself. If he thinks he can get to and win a Super Bowl without Zeke Elliott, he's fooling himself, Skip. He's not a bell cow back. There were 2 other guys on his own roster in college that had more carries than he did.
Maybe that was the coach's fault. Seriously, I'm serious about that. But go ahead.
But how about this here? The general rule of thumb is that when you scout a player and you bring him into your organization, you're going to try to find a way to use him the way they used him in college, and the reason why you fell in love with him. They fell in love with Tony Pollard because he was somewhat of a scat back. They threw the ball to him a lot.
They did.
He's not a bell cow back. Now, if you think you can hand him that ball 25, 30 times a game for the entirety of the season, you're fooling yourself.
I heard that bell ringing through those preseason games. I got to tell you, I was seeing bell cow. That's just me. I was seeing it. Go ahead.
You see bell cow?
Yep, I did. I really did. I saw him just ramming it between the tackles.
Skip, the man got 9 carries.
He weighs 215.
The man got 9 carries in 3 preseason games.
Okay. I'm just going on gut feeling, eye test, and he went to damn good back, said Zach Martin. Damn good.
Skip, your stomach could be hurt. It's just like me, Skip. Oh, hold on, let me ask you a question. Okay, now there's a backup to Zach Martin. Do you believe the backup is better than Zach Martin?
Well, obviously not.
Okay,
but what did he say? He said, obviously, we want Zeke out there.
Okay, then. That's what I'm talking
obviously.
about. Okay, and that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
He's saying all the things because if I'm not mistaken, Zach Martin got one of those C's on his chest too, right? So he's speaking like, look, guys, we're going to have to go play at some point in time with or without Zeke. And the message that I want to convey is we're going to be ready to play regardless of who the running back is.
That is correct.
I like the tone in which he said what he said as opposed to last year what the Steelers said about Le'Veon.
Okay.
So I have no problem with it. To make a long story short, I have no problem with what Zach Martin said.
It's funny, Jenny. We're actually on opposite sides of the fence about the team that I love because I do believe what Zach Martin said was a dangerous thing to say, but it was a catalytic thing to say. It's going to make something go one way or the other.
So in other words, it was a nice pitch. It was a nice picture. It was an ugly picture in a nice frame.
Correct.
He framed it really nice, but you got the gist of what he was trying to say.
What he was saying is deep. It wasn't as blatant and over the top and ugly as these quotes that came from the Steelers locker room. But this situation is much deeper or much different, I should say, because remember, Le'Veon a year ago had been franchise tagged. A year ago, he was 5 years into his career.
Correct.
So he was scheduled to make $14.5 million, and he left on the table a 5-year, $70 million contract.
Correct.
But he had the tag already there, where if he accepts it, he's going to get 14.5, which was more than Marquise Pouncey and Ramon Foster were going to make last year.
Right.
Okay, so they were taking it personally.
Right.
Like we got a good team here, and you could make 14.5, and they're going all the way to who do you think you are? He doesn't give a damn about that. That's that's Ramon Foster. I'm kind of pissed off right now, says Pouncey. Really? Why play hide and seek, said Pouncey. Why let your agent say this and that? Just man up and tell us what you're going to do, Le'Veon.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay, that was, woo.
Is his name Marquise Rooney?
Yeah.
Or Marquise Pouncey?
I don't know.
Why don't you tell us?
Yeah.
I wish.
Okay, now back to my team. It was time for a very respected veteran to stand up in that locker room and say what he said. And he said it, look, dare I say, politely, gentlemanly.
Yes.
Like you said, what he said borders on an ugly thing in a very pretty frame. I like that. But I want to make it clear that, remember, Dak is, to me, he's still the face of the franchise and the team leader, but Dak is best friends with Zeke. So he can't really say that right now.
Right.
But, hey, I don't know if people understand. Zach Martin is to me, he's the most decorated player in that locker room right now because you realize he's played 5 years in this league. And in his first 5 years, every year he made the Pro Bowl and every year he made All-Pro. And not one player in the history of my team has ever started their career like that.
Nope.
Not one team. And they got 13 people in your Pro Football Hall of Fame, and nobody did that. Emmett didn't do it in his first 5 years. Michael obviously didn't. Troy didn't do it. And we can go back to Dorsett, Roger Staubach, and Randy White. Nobody did what Zach Martin has done. 5 straight years of Pro Bowl and All-Pro teams. He made first team 3 times. Now, Tyron Smith he has more Pro Bowls and more All-Pros, but he didn't do it 5 straight years. So just for the record. So now you have a guy in Zach Martin, people forget this, he started for 4 years at Notre Dame at left tackle. 2 of those years, his last 2 years, he was a captain of the Fighting Irish. So he is leader, but he's a quiet leader and he rarely speaks. So when he speaks, my ears are wide open because he wanted to make a statement there that should get more publicity and more attention than it has gotten. So now we get to, this is right in your wheelhouse. We're getting to the double-edged sword that is pro football, or really pro any sport. It is the dual goals of earning and winning. And they don't always, they can be mutually exclusive. They don't always dovetail. They don't always intertwine because right now, this team is faced with earning versus winning. To me, winning should always prevail. Winning should always be the priority, and that's what he is saying. We got to pull back together right now because we got to win. So you tell me, in your career, what was more important, earning or winning? It's a hard call.
It was.
You hope you could do both.
You really do. But see, the luxury that Zach Martin has and Tyron Smith had is that the Cowboys went to them and said, and they reset the market. Zach Martin was the highest paid guard in football.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Just to be fair about this, He was 4 years in. Zeke's 3 years in. So they had picked up his option, but in the offseason before last season, they went to him and said, we want to make you the guy. And now he's playing right guard. He's not playing left tackle, but we want to make you the guy. And guess what they gave him? They gave him what is almost identical to Todd Gurley money. The money's just, you look right down, it's $21 million signing bonus, 45 guaranteed, 14.4. That's Todd Gurley. That's what Zeke wants. And without going into gory detail, Zach Martin's deal is right there. Those are the same numbers. And okay, so Jerry just said here because you've earned it. Had he earned it? Yeah. Has Zeke earned it? Sure he has.
But Skip, we know this. Left tackles and right guards normally play a lot longer than running backs. Even though they bang, they don't get brought to the ground with 300-pounders landing on them or 250-pound guys landing on them like a running back. So Zeke understands that his shelf life is a lot shorter than Tyron Smith than Zach Martin's. And really all the other positions. Skip, I really don't have it because, like you said, I think he framed it in such a way. He's trying to instill confidence in Tony Pollard because he knows if Zeke's not there, Tony Pollard's going to have to pick up the slack, not just running the football, but the number one thing that keeps running backs off the field in their rookie season is their ability to pick up the pass protection. And he got one time, he got Dak hit, and I'm sure
two games
ago. Jerry brought that up. I'm sure Jason Garrett brought it to attention. Gary Brown, who's the running back coach, I'm sure everybody has brought that to his attention. Son, if you want to play in this league, you want to play for this team, you must protect that guy.
Yet, he went to damn good. And I don't think Zach Martin is going to overstate anything, especially about a rookie fourth-round pick. So I told you, just use an eye test right out of the box. I told you the Monday after the draft, I think they got somebody because when I would see him play at Memphis, I watched 2 games last year, he caught my eye, but they were using him as like a slot receiver. Occasionally at running back, but they mostly threw it to him as much as they handed it to him. But when he got a hold of the football, really good things started happening. So they think they got their Dak Prescott of running backs in the 4th round this year. Dak's obviously was a 4th-round pick, right? Okay, so now, to me, after watching the 3 preseason games so far, I've already concluded, and I've been telling you, I see an NFL running back. I see a guy you can start and win games with. Alfred Morris, I never was sure about that. If they had to go in with an aging Alfred Morris against the Giants at home and at Washington, I don't think they could get home in those 2 games with Alfred Morris. Tony Pollard's got it. Is he Kamara? I don't know. That's a stretch because Kamara's really good. But this kid is really legit.
McCaffrey.
He is legit. Well, he's completely. He's 6 feet 215, so he's a different size than McCaffrey.
McCaffrey's not that tall and not that big.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
207.
No, that's what I'm saying. He's a bigger back than Christian McCaffrey is.
But he's not. He's a bigger back, but he's not in that caliber of McCaffrey and Alvin Kamara. I don't believe he can do the same type thing. Zach Martin said he's a damn good back. Zeke Elliott is a great back.
Well, obviously, and he said, obviously, we need Zeke. We want Zeke.
Yeah, we want it.
You are underestimating the guy that you first referred to as Mike Pollard. Yep, you are underestimating. You will never again call him Mike Pollard because he is a legit Tony Pollard. And all I know is when the ball touches his hands, he has that effortless glide to him, that make you miss, that comes effortlessly. It doesn't look like he's trying hard and everybody's missing him through the secondary. That's what I'm seeing.
Skip, well, why are we going around and around? If he's a damn good back, and Jerry believes it, everybody believes, why don't y'all just move on from Zeke?
Okay, obviously, if Zeke wants to hold out for the first 2 games to make his case, God bless him. I believe we can win the first 2 games with him at Tony Pollard at running back.
I just move on. I just put an auction up. Who wants Zeke?
Obviously,
why not? You got Tony Pollard on
wait
a
a second.
contract.
Who at this desk argues that Ezekiel Elliott is the best back in football while somebody across the table says, no, it's Saquon, no, it's Le'Veon, no, it's anybody but a Cowboy?
It was Le'Veon before he held out. I got to see what Le'Veon does this year.
Well,
I like Saquon.
I'm just saying.
But here's the thing. You are a running team.
No, we're a 50-50 team. That's what we did. Boy, when we took off down the stretch, we were throwing it.
Well, you can't. How about this here, Skip? You can't have a legit tier 1 running back when your running back leads the league in rushes. That's not how it works in the NFL. Does Tom Brady have one of those? What about Aaron Rodgers? No, you don't.
Who led the playoffs in rushing last year? Attempts and yards. Who led?
The Patriots.
Oh, the Patriots did. So you could do it by committee or you can do it by Zeke.
Well,
you can do it either way you want to do it.
You do make, you make my point when
No,
you say
I think
Tom
you
Brady
made
hadn't
mine.
slowed down something, right? You know you make my point, but we not Skip, I'm not talking about Tom Brady. I'm talking about Skip, how about this here? You want to be 8-8, 9-7, or do you want to have your team down in the Super Bowl? Because if you don't get 2-1, you're not going.
All I know is if Zeke holds out for 2 games and we win both, and then he comes back to big fanfare and momentum and huge
Who said it's going to be 2
excitement.
games? Who said it's only going to be 2 games?
Well, I don't know. Okay, let's do 3.
No,
let's do
no,
4.
no.
I'll go 4-0 with Tony Pollard. Or you can still call him Mike Pollard. You can dismiss him all you want.
I work at Sotheby's.
Okay.
Can I get a 5?
Yeah.
6.
Yeah.
6 to the judge. Whoa.
This is all wishful thinking on your part.
Can I get an 8?
Can I get a Zeke Elliott who loves football way more than Emmitt Smith used to love football? Zeke wants to be with the fellas.
Yeah.
Zeke wants to play and practice
And
football.
I want to be with the fellas like Zach Martin and Tyron Smith as far as money.
He'll
I
get
need
his money.
plenty.
He'll get his money, but
When?
in fact, it gets to
we
be
gonna
a
get it. You keep telling me
stalemate.
that. You
Okay?
keep telling me. You told me you told me in April. You told me in May. You told me in June. And now here we are, August, and I ain't got my money. I want my money, Skip.
You are falling into the same trap that a lot of overreacting, hating Cowboy, non-Cowboy fans fall into. You are overreacting to what are about to become the 3 or 4 hardest days of this stalemate. And they're coming up right now because nothing's going to happen for 3 or 4 more days into the weekend when at some point, I don't know when it'll be, Saturday night, Sunday afternoon, the first call will be made, and then the first domino will start to fall because they will make a deal by next Tuesday. But you need urgency, you need deadline, you need now, the last week, you need Labor Day to come. I told you from the start, I've been telling you for a month, just wait till Labor Day. That's the first moment will be when we meet here on Labor Day morning, and we will be here, that I will start even getting anxious about this. Not nervous,
You're going to be anxious,
just
you're going to be anxious Sunday night.
Nope.
Because Zeke will still be in Cabo. You're like,
Okay,
well, whoa.
I will not get anxious because I believe this deal will get done. And nobody is a tougher negotiator, a more patient negotiator in the big game of blink that is being played right now, who blinks first, than Jerry Jones. So I have learned by patiently watching Jerry all these years, you just got to sit back and relax and let it play out because there's no reason for Zeke to even be at practice this week. Obviously, he wasn't going to play in the 4th preseason game. And what I have loved about all this is that Zeke has been protected in Cabo for all of training camp. I didn't even have to fret or lose any sleep over, is he going to get hurt in some goal line drill that they're running out in camp?
If I'm Zeke Elliott, this is how I'm going to get my deal done. You know, on Instagram, when they send a video, you play it twice and it disappears. I take a picture of the Lombardi Trophy through Instagram and I send it to Jerry Jones. And I let him open it and he looks at it. And I let him open it again, he looks at it. And then it's gone.
Really?
If I'm not in camp, that's what's going to happen to your Super Bowl. It's gone.
That is technology.
I don't know if you like that.
That just goes to show you. Hocus pocus.
So I think you're actually buying into the concept that the Cowboys could be in this year's Super Bowl.
With Zeke, they have a great chance.
Oh, great. Wait, do we get that on tape?
No. Hold on. Let me take that back.
great
Not the Super Bowl.
chance.
First of all,
Great
but we're going to talk about this a little later because
Shannon Sharpe said
They
great
might-
chance.
they
I'm
might-
writing that down. Great
the
chance.
Eagles might get that clown man, O.J. Davion, and then it'll be over for y'all. But that's neither here nor there.
It all comes down to quarterback versus quarterback, and I will take my
give me
quarterback
one or
any
two.
day
Give me one
over
or
your
two.
quarterback. 'Cause
Skip,
my
look.
quarterback beat him twice last
How about
year.
this here, Skip? I'm going to be all the way 100 with you. I mean, you know, you think I say I hate the Cowboys. I
Well,
really
you
don't.
do. You're a
Hate
closet
is such
fan,
a strong.
but it's okay.
Hate is such a strong word.
Yeah.
Strong disliking. Okay, let's go
Yeah.
there. Skip. You're not going to the Super Bowl. As a matter of fact, it's going to be very, very challenging for you guys to even make the playoffs. Okay? So you're not winning the division because we already got due on that. And this is what we're going to do. The do best this week. Every week that you lose, you got to come in here with the do. So if you lose 2 cases, I want my 2 cases on this table. If I lose 3 cases, you will have your 3 cases on the table every week.
Every
Oh,
week?
Let me get this straight. I'm still up 32 cases.
No, you're not. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Yes, I am. 32 cases of Diet Mountain Dew, and I have been given none of those cases because you did pay off, and then it started over, and I'm still up 32 cases.
We cleared the deck.
And none of them.
Wiping the deck. We cleared the deck.
Cleared it too,
Yeah.
no? You're still
So
up
you
32.
don't pay off, but we clear the deck just because the season changes.
Okay, how about this here? We do debt consolidation. I owe you 32 cases. I'll pay you off with 6 cases.
Dead consolidation. Well said.
I don't even care about this because I'm not going to lose.
No, you're gonna lose.
I don't even want to do the hypothetical because I know I've got this.
You're not gonna.
And Shannon Sharpe went so far as to say, great chance. So if Zeke signs before game 1, you're going to have to repeat your statement you just made of they now have a great chance to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right?
The Eagles, there are Eagles and there are Kansas City, there's the Patriots, and there's New Orleans.
Yeah.
There are like 6 or 7 teams that have a great chance. But you guys have the lesser of the great chances.
Somebody is moonwalking worse than Michael Jackson did in 1983 at the, what was it, the Motown Award?
Yeah, Motown.
Yeah.
Skip, look, Zeke's a different animal.
Yeah.
You're a running team. You have a great offensive line. Everything is set up for you guys to make a move this year. But Jerry and Stephen Jones' pride, because they say, we don't want to reset the market.
Yeah.
Who gives a damn about a market, Skip, if the market leads you to Miami and have Commissioner Goodell hand you that trophy? Can you imagine the joy? Can you imagine what Jerry... Just imagine, Skip Bayless, Roger Goodell takes that trophy and he's talking and he gives it to Jerry. Jerry might start crying.
Jerry has imagined that moment 3 times in reality because it's happened before.
But how long ago has that been?
Yeah.
People forgot that. There were people that's living right now don't even remember that.
Yeah, it was just the other day.
Yeah, what other?
You know,
It feels like the other day.
feels like the other
Last
day.
time they won a Super Bowl, I was 26. I done went through 3 decades since then.
Okay, we're just talking about now. We're talking about Zach
Well,
Martin,
y'all ain't got one now.
5 Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pros and his first 5 years in the league. And the other comment that really caught my eye was another maybe subtle shot at Zeke. And I
What'd he
believe Zeke will not like these comments. And I don't expect him to like these comments. But Zach said, knowing that my teammates can count on me week in and week out, I take great pride in that because he takes pride in playing. He missed the first 2 games of his career at Indy, which is his hometown, at the end of the year, and then he had to miss the last game. But he came back for the playoffs, and he's had a back issue through the preseason, but he says he's going to be there for game 1.
But guess how many games Zeke Elliott has missed because of injury?
None.
0. So
Okay.
Zach Martin,
Yeah.
you could always count on Zeke, make the money right. And you got Tony Pollard in his whole college career, 2 times he had double-digit carries. Let that sink in.
Yep.
And you think he's going to be a bell cow in the NFL, he'll get his bell wrong.
Diamond in the rough.
No, I don't want
In
no diamond
Will
in the rough.
McClay, I trust. He is the draft master of my Cowboys. He has changed their fortune and their fate.
Well, I know what Zeke is. Zeke ain't in no diamond in the rough. That's the hope diamond. When you look at it, you know what he is. You know he's valuable. I don't need to polish it up. I don't need to hope. I don't need to shave it down to make it something. I look at 2-1, and that's the hope diamond. And when you see the hope diamond, you know what it is.
I look at 3-6 and I say, dub versus Giants, dub at Washington. That's all I care about right here, right now, just in case. And I also look at 3-6 and say, guess what, Zeke? Your career just got extended another couple of nice years because you're going to have a 1A back behind you.
1A.
Yep.
1A,
We're going to have to wait and see.
You call him Mike, I call him Tony. Yeah. Okay.
When Zeke come back,
real name.
we'll forget all about Tony Pollard.
Yeah.
He'll be there. He'll be in the mix.
I don't think we will forget about him.
Can I get a 10?
I'm not forgetting about him yet.
Can I get a 10?
10 what?
Games missed.
10 games missed?
Yeah, if you don't break bread.
Okay.
You gonna break bread? We gotta eat, Skip. The man gotta eat. He can't even eat.
Jerry wants that trophy.
I know he wants the trophy.
Here we go.
Hold on. But Skip, you heard the man say at the combine, you have no idea the size of the check I would write if you guaranteed me a trophy.
do know
Well, the
that.
closest you can get to a guarantee is to give 2-1 his money and have him dot that I opening day.
We know he wants it.
It will be done.
Dot it.
No, he wants it. Someone familiar with a few Super Bowls, Gronk. Should we be prepared that he may make a comeback this season?
Yep.
Don't forget, you can check us out every day on the Fox Sports Channel on SiriusXM. We'll be right back.
No mercy. Football season is coming up quick, and DraftKings, the leader in one-day fantasy football, is celebrating with huge Week 1 contests. It all starts when Chicago and Green Bay kick off the season with a Thursday night single-game showdown contest and $2.5 million in total prizes up for grabs. New users who sign up today on DraftKings using code UNDISPUTED will receive a free shot at the $1 million top prize. Nothing adds to the excitement of watching the game quite like having a shot at $1 million payday. Draft your single-game showdown lineup and feel the sweat like never before. It's simple. Just draft 6 players from the season opener. Stay under the salary cap, see how your team stacks up against the competition. But you don't have to wait till Week 1 to get in on the action. Right now, all users can get a deposit bonus up to $500. Download the DraftKings app now to get in on the action. For a limited time, both new and existing users can get a deposit bonus up to $500. And as an extra special Week 1 bonus, new users can put in our code UNDISPUTED to receive a free shot at $1 million with your first deposit. Don't forget, that's code UNDISPUTED for your free shot at $1 million. Only at DraftKings. Make it rain. Minimum $5 deposit required. Deposit bonus requires a 25 times playthrough. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details.
No mercy.
Before Andrew Luck shocked the NFL by retiring early, Rob Gronkowski did the same thing shortly after winning Super Bowl 53. Both were 29 years old at the time of their announcements. Yesterday, Gronk said he will be an advocate for CBD to be used as a pain reliever in the NFL. The pain from playing, as Gronk said, ultimately made him retire. He also opened up about the possibility of making a comeback down the road. Take a listen.
I needed to recover. I was not in a good place. Football was bringing me down, and I didn't like it. I was losing that joy in life, like the joy. I'm sorry right now, but dang, I really was, and I was fighting through it. And I knew what I signed up for, and I knew what I was fighting through. What it has to take is that desire to know that I want to be back out there on the field. Yes, physically, I'll be ready. I could play right now if I wanted to play, hands down. I could run fast right now. I'm feeling good. Mentally-wise, desire-wise, it's not there.
Shannon, do you like that Gronk said this?
I love it. I love what he said, Skip. Here's a man that's almost in tears telling you. First of all, I love the thought process that he said that went into him making this decision. Skip, he said football was bringing me down. I was losing the joy in life. If I'm not mistaken, joy was the very words that Andrew Luck spoke about. Skip, here's a list. 2 pages of the injuries. 2 back surgery, ACL, MCL, disc surgery, hip pulls, ankles.
These are Gronks.
Gronks.
Yeah.
And he says the injury, Skip, he talking about he could only sleep 20 minutes. We didn't hear all that.
Yeah.
I only slept 20 minutes after winning the Super Bowl because I was in so much pain. I believe, I've only played 2 places, Skip. I believe playing for the New England Patriots is the most grueling mentally of any of the sports organizations in the world, because I don't believe it's physical. I believe the mental strain in which they put on you because they strip you of who you actually are. Gronk is the only thing that we've seen close that gave you a little glimpse of who he actually is with the fun he tries to have. Everybody else is stripped and robbed of who they actually are. It's always team before me. There is a me in team, but not before the team comes first. And Skip, these guys, I believe the reason why Tom Brady can perform so well in the game is that the mental stress and the rest that he's placed under during the course of the week, the game is a break, is a reserve from that, Skip. Because guess what? He don't get to hear Coach Belichick. Coach Belichick can hear the plays being called, but actually it's Josh McDaniels that's actually in his ear. Because you know he pushed you through every situation. Mistakes are unforgivable. It's unacceptable. And Gronk is saying, you know what, guys? Now I'm in a place physically where I can play. I'm pain-free. But the mental part, I'm not even close to being there. Skip, it's a B to have an injury year after year, rehab year after year after year, limp into the season, limp in the season, limp out of the season, and do that over and over again while having a guy like Coach Belichick that's constantly, because he's a grinder. He grinds on you mentally. And to have to do that, Gronk said, I just couldn't do it anymore. Skip, the man, we look at Gronk here, he's a mammoth of a man. 6'6.5", maybe even 6'7", 275, 280. And he's talking about what he's going through, how the game, the injuries, and the mental duress that he was up under robbed him of joy in life. The very thing that Andrew Luck spoke of. See, Skip, when we talk about Andrew Luck, I believe Andrew Luck got this injury in April, and he's like, April, that's it. I still got May, June, July, and here we are, Skip. We roll around the training camp, and guess what? The injury hadn't gotten any better. And here we are in August, and the injury hadn't gotten any better. And the doctors, I believe the doctors probably told him, son, you're probably still 2, 3, maybe even this year from playing.
Really? What is the injury? Help me out.
Skip, I don't know what the injury is, but it's enough that he says, you know what? I made a promise to myself in 2016. I wasn't going to do in 2016. I wasn't going to do in 2019 what I did in 2016. I'm not doing that. If I can't be great, if I can't be Andrew Luck, I'm not going to be anything. And I'm stepping away from the game. That's why I said, Skip, I believe there's 8.5%, 9%, 9 out of 10 that Andrew Luck comes back. But to hear Gronk say what he said, I hope it offered a glimpse into what these athletes going through. Because Skip, you don't know what a guy goes through to be out on that field on Sunday. Shannon Sharpe can speak because Shannon Sharpe shot his ankles up every single Sunday.
Okay.
Didn't practice. Skin falling off my ankles because all the injections going in there. Shooting up the shoulders. Taking the Toradol shot. Skip, I did all that to go play. But you know what? People didn't care. All they needed to see 84 with Sharpe on the back, and they needed to see him get open and score touchdowns. It's a mental grind. It's a physical grind. And Gronk says, I'd had enough and I couldn't do it. Not to say I won't be able to do it in the future, but right now, no more. So
were you suggesting Gronk's getting a pass that Luck didn't get, or?
Well, people will say, well, Gronk made his decision in the offseason, and he gave the team, look, and I tweeted someone yesterday that's like, well, Shannon, I agree with you, but Andrew Luck could have made this decision 2 months ago, 3 months ago. I say teams cut players a week before the season. They cut players during the season, and then the owner got booed yet. But yet you're going to boo this man because he want to put his health and happiness before your enjoyment, and you criticize him for it. Andrew Luck should have told him, get off my lawn.
Okay. I got a bunch to say about this.
Go ahead, bro.
I'm going to start with what was happening yesterday at this media session. Why was Rob Gronkowski there? He was there to promote a product, a CBD product, and CBD, second most active ingredient in marijuana. It's the one that's non-intoxicating, it's not hallucinogenic, but it is still currently banned by the National Football League, just for the record.
Yes.
What does Gronk want to be? He would like to be an actor and a pro wrestler when he decides to stop football, and I do not believe he's done playing football for the New England Patriots. That's just me. We will find out. I believe he'll be back November somewhere, I don't know, maybe even late October, I don't know, somewhere mid-season.
I say 2020.
2020. I think he'll come back this year, and I think his quarterback is hoping and trusting that he will come back this year, but that's a whole nother issue. But remember, Gronk's got some actor in him, and not that he didn't feel those things that he was feeling, but I think he went a little over the top to drive home the point that he needs his CBD product to get him through the nights that he could not sleep. He said he slept 5 minutes a night for, what, a month? That's a little hard to buy, but whatever, could be.
Yeah.
All right, so now we get to the larger issue, losing the joy for football. Okay. This is just me, and I have covered your game way longer than you have played your game. And forgive me for this. If I'm being too callous, I'm going to state another cold, hard fact the way I see it. I'm getting a little tired of this new narrative of, oh, woe are the NFL players, these poor souls who play this game. You're right about everything you just said about what you sacrificed to get on that football field. I'm sorry, it's the name of your game. It's the essence of your game. You know from playing certainly high school football that it's not it's not when you get hurt. I mean, if you get hurt, it's when you get hurt, right? You're just going to get hurt playing high school football. Why did you play? Because it's high risk, high reward.
Correct.
Because in high school, the high reward is more fame than fortune, but it's going to be fame leads to fortune.
Yep.
Because you were a big man on campus in high school.
Yep.
And then you're a big man on campus at Savannah State.
Yep.
And then you can make a whole lot of money.
Yep.
Attached to a whole lot of fame, being what ultimately is a Pro Football Hall of Famer for Denver and Baltimore.
Skip, I wouldn't change a thing now.
Okay, you
I don't
wouldn't.
want people to think that,
Right.
I would change anything.
Yeah.
Because for me, the reason why I did what I did was because of Mary Porter.
Okay.
So the years that she got of enjoyment.
Okay, I got it, but for you too. I mean,
Yeah.
you benefited also.
I did, but
Yeah.
I was
Okay.
secondary.
All right.
For the Skip,
Okay.
the way I look at it, I still put my family first. I need sister, mom, kids. I worry
Okay.
about Shannon later, but those will be taken care of
Okay.
first.
And you did have an older brother who was being
Yes.
having high success for a while
Yes.
in pro
Yes.
football. So the point is that nobody holds gun to head and says you have to do this. Like Andrew Luck didn't ever have to play one down of pro
So why
football.
the fans trying to hold him a gun to his head to keep him in the game?
Well, because they were shocked.
See,
They were shocked that, and again, you know what? I do think that either the Colts or Andrew owed everybody an explanation of his injury. It would have helped this situation.
No, it wouldn't.
It's still the
I
biggest.
don't know. No.
It's the biggest mystery in sports. Like, what was going on? What if he told you he had not only career-threatening, but he had a life-threatening condition? I don't know. I have no idea what it is. It started as a calf injury.
And guess what? And you just said it. You knew he assumed the risk when he took the job. It's just like riding a roller coaster. There's a chance you might have a heart attack with a big 300-foot dip. It's assumption of the
There's
risk.
a chance you'd fall out.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I got it.
Fans gonna have the same reaction you did. Andrew Luck knew what he signed up for. He says, "Well, guess what? You're right, I did, but I ain't signing up for it no more.
Okay.
I'm stepping away."
And I don't have any problem with that. I mean, God bless him. You got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Because I keep hearing, well, gee, I have to think, we go back to Doug Baldwin. How about my kids? Will my head and my legs be good enough for me to interact with my children
Right.
or my grandchildren?
Right.
Well, it's a huge risk.
Oh, yeah.
It's a dangerous, violent game that you're playing, right?
Well, it's a lot easier now, Skip, to take these kind of okay, I want to step away because the money that's involved, you can make a lot of money in a short period of time and get out while the getting's good. Long before the money got like it is, Skip, you played as long as you could because you wanted to make as much money as you could.
Yep.
Because even when you step away from the game, where are these guys going to go and make $20 million a year, Skip? Where are you going to go and make $30 million a year?
Okay.
Them jobs they hired.
Okay, so you tell me your knees are creaky. They bother
Yeah.
you.
Yep.
Is it worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yep. Do it all over again.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is your head okay? Boy, it sounds pretty good to me.
Pretty good.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
Got 3 injections in my hip last week.
Okay.
Good. Do
All
it
right.
again.
You still working out?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw me on IG, Skip, living that way. Oh, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah.
I don't even follow
I'm putting them 4 plates on each side.
Really?
With a little 2.5, little something. Just a little something.
Huh. Yeah, I see what you put on there occasionally, what you eat, and then I don't think you put the other stuff that you eat on there, right?
You dry snitching.
Definitely don't put my
Dry
stuff
snitching.
as you guys call it.
Well, I tell you what I don't put no avocado toast like somebody else I know.
Really?
It's a healthy choice for the morning.
That is a healthy choice.
You always
You like
say,
avocado,
Shannon,
Skip?
I
it's good
do.
for
I love
you.
it. It's good for your skin. It's a healthy fat.
Healthy fat.
I mean, look at this kid, Skip. This is my Kodak moment. I'm picture perfect right now.
Really?
Yeah!
The confidence has stayed there since you're playing.
Usually
days.
people who are carrying a few more pounds look a little better on TV.
That ain't what it do.
That's what I hear.
No, I don't care what. Skip, you a hate. You know what? You've been hating on me for like about 2 months now.
No, I haven't. I didn't say a word.
Yeah, you did
I was just
say
going
something.
along with the flow of the conversation.
Flow.
Yeah, flow the conversation. But Skip, I mean, you look at the injuries, and Skip, Gronk's a big man, and he's a redwood. And you don't cut a redwood down from the top, you saw it down from the bottom. So his knees
listen,
and ankle.
Listen, arguably, he's suffered more than Andrew
Yes,
suffered. Because he's played a couple more years, but he's missed more games than Andrew missed.
Yes.
It's 29 to 26
Yes.
on just sheer missed games. So can you argue he's been about as beat up as Andrew?
Yeah, plus he started in college, Skip. Remember, he had back surgery
He
in
did,
college.
which
Then
is
he had-
why he fell to the second round,
Right,
and
and then he had-
Belichick stole him.
Yes,
Yep.
and you had 2 fractured
he
elbows.
did.
And then he had an ACL, an MCL.
Okay.
And it just, at some point in time, the pain gets immense. And you don't want to get hooked on the Viking and you're taking all these pills. You're taking 4, 5, 6 pills a day.
Nope.
You don't want to get hooked on that. So
Okay.
If the CB,
Okay, we'll
hopefully the NFL will do its due diligence and allow these guys to take a safer option than the painkillers.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Skip, it's wrong. Unless I've been 25 and 26, Skip, and have to walk down the stairs sideways because my ankle and knees hurt so bad.
All right. It's the price you chose to pay, correct?
But yeah, it is.
Okay.
But Skip, I just want to give people a glimpse into what it's like and the mental toll. Knowing, Skip, this is on Wednesday and Thursday and Friday, but on Sunday,
Okay.
there's going to be 80,000 fans in Mile High Stadium wanting to see Shannon do what he does.
Okay, that's fine.
And
you're going to get a big game check.
And
too.
I got to get my mind. I got to get my mind right, Skip.
Okay.
Mentally, I got to prepare myself, knowing that I'm going out there. Everybody is less than 100%.
Yep.
But some people at 30% and 40%.
Okay. So remember, Rob Gronkowski and Andrew Luck were born only 4 months apart. So Gronk just turned 30. Andrew's about to turn 30. So they're still relatively young men, right?
Yes.
You made it to age 35.
Yes.
So do we expect to see both of them back on the football field?
I think it's a
I
great
definitely
possibility.
think Gronk. I'm not sure about Andrew, but you're sure about Andrew than I am.
Yeah, I believe.
Okay.
I believe after a year away, he gets to heal up. He'll come back. But it's a grind, and especially for the quarterback. Do you know the mental stress that they're up under? They're fighter pilots, and people are shooting at them.
So how's Tom Brady made it all the way to 42?
Skip, he hasn't hit Skip. He had okay.
He's
why-
playing for the toughest coach in the league, in the organization
So
that
why-
grinds on you
so
like
why
none
did,
other.
Why did he miss
Wow.
15 games in 2008?
Torn ACL.
Okay, then that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
The man has been hurt over and over. Tom Brady's had one injury. Andrew Luck has had several. Gronk has had several.
Tom Brady has created an art form of getting rid of the football. Andrew Luck has yet to figure that quite out, how to do that.
If Tom Brady had to go through the punishment that he had to endure, if Tom Brady would not be playing at 42 if he had to go through the first 3 years of what Andrew Luck before they got him an offensive line. Tom Brady's not going to be able to do that, Skip. They've done a great job of protecting him. He's had Scarnecchia. You said he's the greatest offensive
is.
line coach currently coaching.
Yep.
Okay.
I
that's
think he's ever.
Okay.
Yep.
He has that.
But Tom was more adept right away at delivering the football before he got hit.
He had protectors.
Yeah. Nah, here and there. They're pretty good. They didn't always have them. But
Matt
go ahead.
Light
Yeah.
was okay, right?
2015 was a rough year for him.
Yeah.
He took a lot of punishment.
They drafted Nate Solder in the first
Yeah.
round. So,
Isaiah Wynn now.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What about Logan Mankins? Was he any
He
good?
was pretty good.
Oh, yeah, pretty
Yeah,
good.
But they got a whole bunch of undrafted free agents in there that you've never heard of, starting with the center that they just lost, David Andrews.
But if you have the right coach that can coach him up,
Yep.
Alex Gibbs, our offensive line coach in Denver, did a great job of
did.
that. He took low round draft picks, meshed them together. You're one. You're not five. You're one, and it worked really well.
Yep.
You can do that. But to say and see, again, you do that. Everything gets compared to who, Jenny? Tom Brady. Tom Brady's 42. He's still playing.
Everyone's body is different, and everyone.
Tom Brady got 6 Super Bowls. No, you can't do that. He's an anomaly.
comparison.
He's an anomaly, Skip.
I'd say.
You're probably never going to see that again.
You will never see it again.
But hearing you talk about the pain that you went through, no one would understand unless you're in it. So I think it's hard to judge anyone unless you've experienced the pain. I mean, I can't believe the list of injuries.
Yes, I mean,
you
it's-
look at what Gronk's gone through. It took 2 pages. So
pages.
It's hard to put anyone
So don't
in their
play.
position.
Stop it.
But they're not
play.
saying don't play. They're saying you
But
can't.
How about I get out?
mad at
Okay,
me
I'm gonna
for
play,
protecting
but
my
I want to
body
get out. I want to get out when I
I
want
need to
to,
get out.
without having criticism. How about
I
that?
hear that. I hear that.
Go anytime you want to.
No, I can't
Free
tell.
country.
I can't tell. It didn't get booed. It didn't have people criticize. Oh, I can't believe he did that.
That's the
I
hard
would have
part.
never done that.
No mercy.
Antonio Brown, guys, has also received a bit of criticism lately for plenty of different reasons, continuing to make the news this time, not because of his feet or his helmet. Sunday night, Ben Roethlisberger said he regretted calling out AB after a loss to Denver last season. Big Ben said that it ended up ruining their relationship, their friendship. Brown responded on Twitter saying, quote, "Never friends. Just had to get my ends. Shut up already." Now, Brown has since deleted that tweet, but back in 2016, AB tweeted 4 pictures of himself and Big Ben with the hashtag National Best Friends Day.
But he did delete those two, Skip, because we tried to find them.
Wasn't there?
And we couldn't find them. But it was up. He did tweet that.
He's just getting rid of the evidence. So, Shannon, what is going on here with AB?
Skip, both guys need to move on. See, what they're trying to do, Skip, these guys were in a relationship. And now each guy's trying to make the other look bad. It's kind of like a person in a relationship. I'm in a new relationship. She's in a new relationship. Why the hell are we talking about each other? You moved on, I've moved on, everybody's happy. But it's a situation, Skip, you know, you're in that relationship. Well, I ain't love you anyway. It wasn't that serious. Everybody. Ben is trying to make himself look good, trying to make Ben look bad. AB's trying to make himself look good, trying to make Ben look bad. Guys, both of you look bad because you're at new destinations, you're in new relationships. AB, you got Derek Carr at a new city, be happy. Ben, you in the same city, but you got a new lady in Juju, be happy. Why the hell are you still talking about each other? You made your decisions. Ben said what he said. AB reacted the way he reacted. Shouldn't everybody be happy now? You got what you wanted. You said you wanted someone to take you out, someone that would listen to you, take you to the movie, get in touch with your feelings. Okay, everybody got what they wanted. So why the hell am I still a topic of conversation? Ben, let it go. Ben, you don't need to say anything else about AB. It was great. One of the historically great quarterback wide receiver tandems in NFL history.
It was.
AB, you don't need to say anything else about the Steelers or Big Ben. You're happy. You got $30 million coming to you over the next 2 years. I don't understand the need for you two guys to keep going back and forth. Ben say something, you feel the need to respond on IG. You say something, Ben feels, because Ben keep it going. I feel refreshed. I don't know why, Skip, but this year just seems different to me. He know what AB gonna say. He know. Skip, he spent 8-9 years with the guy, so he knows how Antonio's going to respond. Skip, just let this go. Shouldn't everybody be happy? Didn't everybody get what they wanted?
Yep.
We were in love once, and sometimes people grow apart.
Yep.
That's what happened. You grew apart. It was great while it worked, but that's okay. Sometimes, even the greatest marriages fail 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. Okay, but move on, guys.
I'm starting to think you're auditioning to be a relationship counselor.
I know about it.
Because I swear, almost every topic on this show turns into relationship analogies.
Because you
right?
know, because you know why, Skip?
Am I right?
You're right, Skip. But most of the people that are watching this show, they are in a relationship or been in a relationship, and they can relate to what I'm actually saying. You know what? Because we've all been there. You know, you like, I mean, she was okay. I mean, but you know.
Everyone has that friend that won't stop talking about your ex.
Yes.
Please just
I ain't trying to hear that.
stop. Move on.
Oh, you know, we went. I don't want to hear where you went. Well, why you not there now? You right here with me.
So you're more do as I say, not as I did.
No, see, there you go. Yeah, see, you always try. You try to paint me into a nickel every time.
Just
You should
commenting.
do relationship advice. Shannon Sharpe. That could work for you. This could be a thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Back to this drawing board. To me, Antonio Brown's lashing back at Ben is all about AB. The sort of subtle shots that Ben has recently taken at AB are more about the Steelers, because I believe Ben senses in the wake of AB and Le'Veon that a cloud has been lifted and that he now has a chance to redeem himself as a leader of the football team, that he's looking at it as an opportunity to try to fill a leadership void that maybe Mike Tomlin hasn't filled the way he should have the last couple of years. Because we both agree that locker room is
Mike let it get out of hand.
A little out of hand,
Yes.
right? I don't want to say he lost control of it, but he let it get a little out of hand.
He did.
And I think he's still a very good head football
So
coach
do I.
in this league. So I think Ben is looking around at, we got a fresh face here. We got a new start. We got Devin Bush as the new sort of driving force of our defense. And I got young emerging talent around me in Juju and James Washington and James Conner.
Vance McDonald at tight end.
Right. All of a sudden you're looking around saying, I got a sort of a second chance here, late career chance. He's 37 years of age. And again, can Leopard change spots to all of a sudden be the dominating leader? Nope, you can't. But you can try. He's trying harder. So he wanted to say what he said to NBC and Michelle Tafoya
Yeah.
that aired Sunday night.
Right.
He taped it on Saturday, but he wanted to make a comment that, yeah, I shouldn't have done that. I regret that I said that publicly, that I criticized the route that he ran publicly.
Right.
But he wanted to then amend it with, but you know what? James Washington then texted me and he called me and he said, thank you. He took it as constructive. He took it, Antonio took it as destructive. Okay?
Why would you even bring James Washington
Okay.
into that conversation?
Okay.
Because
I still
again,
think for Ben, he's looking more at the new Steelers than the old ones.
it looks like to me when he brought James Washington in that he's trying to absolve himself of what he did to Antonio Brown. Well, I did the exact
Well,
same
he did
thing.
say I regretted it, right?
And leave it there, Skip.
Okay. But
Leave it
again,
there.
he's looking forward to what he's got. I think he thinks he's in a better situation than AB is in
Well,
now
he is.
in Oakland. Okay.
I believe that he is.
And by the way,
absolutely.
I caution AB to be careful what you wish for
Yeah.
because I think he's going to miss Ben
Of course he
Roethlisberger
is.
on game 1 Sunday.
Yeah.
Because Derek Carr's not Ben.
No.
And again, I keep watching Hard Knocks.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about Jon Gruden, but I still get this uneasy feeling that Gruden's not bought all the way into Derek Carr, and that's going to manifest itself. And AB's not going to love that as the season unfolds.
Yeah.
It could get a little ugly, and it starts with the quarterback, and then it ends with the wide receiver. But Antonio, to me, has fallen into that same trap we've seen Russell Westbrook fall into in basketball, where your priorities become self-promotion and starring and stat producing over winning.
Right.
And it's harder to win in football than in basketball team-wise because in football, as you well know, you got to pull together.
Yeah, you got 11 on one side,
Yeah.
and then you can do anything about the other guy, 11 guys on
Yep.
the defense or special team.
Yep.
So you got 22 guys that really, you hope they do their job.
It requires more of a team unity than
Absolutely.
basketball.
Yeah.
Not that you don't have to have some, but one guy can dominate in basketball and you can sort of mix and match around him. But
I'd
in this
rather have,
case-
but to put it like this, Skip, you mentioned Russell Westbrook. I would rather have Russell Westbrook as a teammate than
Okay, all right, that's
because I
well
know one
said.
thing for certain.
Yep.
He wanted his team. He a team guy.
Okay.
That other guy, he a me guy.
He is definitely a me guy, and he's still, we see him wearing booming on his pad that he
pads.
wears.
Yep.
on his-
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
That's
so
there.
it's mostly about self-promotion to the point that I just think Ben, and you're right, to a fault, he's relieved that he's gone, that Le'Veon's gone, that the cloud is gone.
Right.
And that he thinks they have a chance to be really good, and maybe he took sort of a subtle shot at AB, but AB's taken a not so subtle shot back.
Yeah.
So AB's using all this to promote AB. This is clicks, followers. This helps.
Right.
Yeah.
Never ending, just constant.
Just let it go, Skip. You can't say, issue your apology. Well, Skip, I'm sorry, but I said the same thing to Jenny, and Jenny didn't even get upset. So how am I apologizing, Skip? I'm really not. I can't say I apologize to you and said I said the same thing to Jenny, and Jenny said, man, yeah, that was so funny, man, you make me laugh. How? You can't say I apologize to AB, but I said the exact same thing to James Washington, and he called me, he texted me and said, thank you. Is that an apology?
Sorry should never have but
Yes.
at the end of it.
Thank you.
That's definitely what my
Crisis
parents
management
always used to
101.
say.
Unless
You
you're
can't
trying to
have any
send more of a
excuses.
message to your team
Fair
than
enough.
to him.
Well, pull your team behind closed doors.
Because what's it matter whether you apologize to AB now?
Right.
It's over.
Yeah.
It's done.
Well, if you're trying to send a message, why you got to send it publicly? Why you meet with them every day? You got a team meeting room. You got a locker room. You got a practice field.
I think that resonated in the Steelers locker room that he gave props to James Washington.
Well, I mean,
And
hey,
then James Washington goes right out and catches a touchdown pass in the preseason game. Here we go.
wish the Steelers nothing but the best. But Ben Roethlisberger, who he is,
Okay. He's pretty good.
Believe
he's
he's got
great.
something to prove this
He's
season.
great.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out for him. We're going to take a bit of a step back in time for this next one. Did Shaq blow his chance to be the greatest of all time? Kobe actually thinks so. What do
Yep.
Skip and Shannon say? That's next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, this is Jenny Taft, and I have a quick message for you about Noom. Some people think that all diet and weight loss plans are the same, but that's because they haven't tried Noom. Noom is a new, totally different approach to losing weight and getting healthy that uses psychology and small goals to help you change your habits, making it easy to lose the weight and keep it off for good. Noom combines the power of technology with real human support, offering as little or as much help as you want along the way. And since Noom is an app, it's always with you and easy to use, which makes it super easy to stay on track and reach your goals. It's just as simple to get started. Just go online, answer a few quick questions, and they'll create a personalized program just for you. Noom can help you lose your old way of thinking about food and dieting. So what do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/podcast, NOOM.com/podcast, and start your 14-day trial today. Change your habits, change your mind, change for good with Noom.
No mercy.
Kobe Bryant isn't holding back on his feelings about Shaq's work ethic. It's no secret that Kobe and Shaq's relationship with the Lakers broke down after 3 titles, and that ultimately it led to Shaq being traded away. Yesterday, Kobe was asked what would have happened if Shaq had Kobe's work ethic. Take a listen.
Who would Shaq be if he had your work ethic?
He'd be the greatest of all time.
If Shaq had your work ethic,
He'd be the greatest of all time.
Greatest of all time by a mile.
Sure. He'd be the first to tell you that, for sure. I mean, this guy was a force like I have never seen. Generally, guys at that size are a little timid and they don't want to be tall. They don't want to be big. Man, this dude he did not care. He was mean. He was nasty. He was competitive. He was vindictive. I mean, yeah, I wish he was in the gym. I would have had 12 rings.
Well, Shannon, do you agree with Kobe?
I do. I do believe that Skip, I don't know if the greatest, but he's definitely been in the conversation. Not because when we talk about Shaq, what do we say? He's the most dominant, most unstoppable player that we'd ever seen. Because, Skip, he had that stretch there that you couldn't do anything with it. They dump it down to him on the block. You was either hack a Shaq. They came up with a thing, hack a Shaq. You was either getting dunked on or you had to file him. Skip his first 11 years, because he played 8 years. Let's go his first 11. His 4 in Orlando and his first 7 in L.A. He was 27, 12, and 2.5. 2.6. That's blocks. Skip, we had never seen, and we may never see another NBA player that's 7'1", and in Shaq's prime, he's probably 300, 310 to 320. And that's where he should have been able to try to keep his weight. But he didn't train. He didn't take eating serious. He didn't take working out serious. And 310 became 315, 325, 330, 340. There might have been some times that Shaq played at 350. When I Skip, when you're over 7 foot tall, there's already a lot of wear and tear on your body, jumping up and down 82 games a season. At 300. Imagine what it's like doing that at 330, 340, 350. And it robbed him of some years. It robbed him of some athleticism.
Yep.
But Skip, in the process of Shaq working out, eating like he should have, being considered one of the greatest, that would have came at a huge expense to Kobe Bryant. Because I believe if they went, I don't know, they'd have won 12, but I believe they only won 3 together. I believe they could have got to probably 6. But at what expense, Kobe? Because I believe if Shaq's the greatest, you get 5 or 6 titles, 6 or 7 titles with Shaq, he's going to be the finals MVP. That drove Kobe crazy. That's why he wanted Shaq out of there. He couldn't be Kobe. He could not be the Kobe that we know today if Shaq had did what he wanted Shaq to do.
That's true.
So, Kobe, the question I ask you, are you okay with that? You winning 6 or 7 titles with Shaq. Shaq winning 6 or 7 finals MVP. I don't believe you would have, because we would have never saw that side of Kobe. There is no 5, 6, 7, 60-point games if Shaq's there. There is no 81-point game if Shaq's there. I don't believe there's a scoring title, because if if Shaq is what Kobe believes he can be, you got to go through him. Well, Kobe got tired of going through him. See, Skip, in the Avengers movie, it's the greatest movie of all time. But you got Captain America, he had his own spinoff, didn't he? The Hulk had his own spinoff. So did Black Widow. See, Robert never got his own show. He always got to be with Batman. And he got tired of being that. He's like, I'm a superhero. I'm a comic book hero. I need my own series. So it comes at a price, Kobe. Do you really? I believe he wanted Shaq to work harder. And I believe that caused a lot of friction. Also, Skip, to get 12 titles, you got to like each other too.
Yep.
I don't know how you stay together that long if you don't like each other.
That is
and I
correct.
think they had some problems that started to cause some friction there also. But I do believe Shaq, if Shaq had took this thing serious with conditioning eating, Skip, you're not going very far. You're not getting out of the top 3 or 4 without saying Shaq's not the greatest.
So for once, I completely and utterly agree with everything you just said about 12 titles. No, sorry. You've used Beatles analogies on this show before, but the greatest harmonies I ever heard were John Lennon and Paul McCartney. They made the most beautiful musical harmony I'd ever heard. And finally, John Lennon, maybe thanks to Yoko. Said, nope, I'm out.
Jenny?
And that was it. And Kobe was saying, I just can't take this anymore because the town wasn't big enough. Even this town wasn't big enough for the both of them. And finally, Kobe, who was a little closer to Dr. Buss, said, I just can't do this with him anymore. Now, again, he was not in shape.
Right.
And I give you that. But let's go to the GOAT.
Okay.
I do think there's validity to what Kobe said about goatish. I think if he, and again, this is a huge, literally huge hypothetical, because the more Shaq won, the more he ate, the bigger he got.
Right.
Which was hard to watch.
And the less he trained.
And the less he trained. But if he could have been in shape and kept in shape after those 3 dominant years when they won their 3 titles, Lord have mercy on the NBA. I don't know. Again, I'm always going to side with Michael Jordan just on leadership intangibles and late game clutch shooting because Shaq never could shoot the free throws. And so he became a little bit of a liability down the stretch because they invented hack a Shaq. And it would have become more and more prevalent as the years went on. So at some point, you might even have to take him out of the game in the fourth quarter to get through the game. But the point is, I said this on the old show repeatedly, and people would lose their minds when I would say Shaq was greater than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. But I'm just saying, I agree with, I said this 10 years ago, that he'd never seen a force that unlike any I'd ever seen. Well, that's what I saw, because I covered the conference, these would be the Western Conference Finals in 2000 against my Spurs, and guess who it was? It was Tim Duncan and David Robinson. You have 2 7-footers against 1 7-1, and it was no contest.
They couldn't do anything with
He
that.
just ragdolled both of them. He just flung them out of the way and dunked it. And that year, he won the MVP. That was his only MVP year, and he averaged 30 and led the league in scoring. And he averaged 14 rebounds and 4 assists. A big man averaging 4 assists is extraordinary to me. Well, that's domination. It was not pretty to watch.
No.
It was football, basketball.
Because he's doing this and dunking.
And it was impossible to referee. What's an offensive foul? What's a defensive foul? I don't know. He's just too big for them.
But Skip, we'd never seen a guy that was 7'1", over 300 pounds, that could put the ball on the floor. Shaq could take the ball off one end and bring the ball all the way down the court, dunk on you, or pass the ball and have somebody fill the lane and lay it up.
The All-Star game that year, I covered that game, and Shaq was wheeling and dealing up the floor and dishing to Kobe.
And Shaq will tell you. And the thing people don't realize, Shaq is strong. Shaq, when you look at, when you get up on basketball players, they look big on television, but Skip, they thin.
No, I got it.
You get up on Shaq, Shaq could bench over 400 pounds when he was in the NBA.
He's a huge
He's the biggest man I've ever seen with my own eyes.
All right.
Skip, and that's what you hate, Skip. The thing that makes LeBron who he is, Skip, not only is he supremely talented, but look how he takes care of himself.
I agree. I buy that. You're right.
Michael worked out, but do we know, could Michael have been if he only did 1 cigar a day, Skip, instead of 3?
Maybe.
Instead of one.
I never loved it. I got to tell you, I never loved it.
How about one glass of hen instead of 3?
Whatever. But the
You
cigars
never know,
bothered
right?
me.
You'll never know.
We'll never know.
Yeah.
But Mike didn't spare anything in the weight room. He was conditioned. Shaq, man. And
Thanks, by the way, to the great Tim Grover. They had the Breakfast Club with Scottie Pippen and Ron Harper. They got up early and they worked hard.
And that's what, Skip, you hate that because you're like, what if? And Shaq had an unbelievable career. I think he's still top 10 in scoring, won 3 titles. But Skip, when you got those two guys, you should have more than 3 titles.
You should. There's a lot of ego clashing.
Yeah,
going on.
but that's the thing. That's Skip. That was the thing that made Michael, not Kobe, but Pip understood. I'm robbing. I'm not gonna get a spinoff.
He did. That is
I'm not gonna get a spinoff.
You're right.
Kobe wanted a spinoff.
He did.
Kobe says, I understand that
And he got it. He flaunted it. He won his
Thank
2
you.
titles.
Thank
okay.
you.
Yeah, he did it.
Yeah, I mean, look,
Okay.
you got Iron Man, you got Captain America, you got Black Widow, you got all these spinoffs going on.
Yep.
But Kobe wanted to be a standalone, Skip. And I don't know if he could have been a standalone. I don't know if Kobe is the Kobe that we know currently.
Yep.
If he had done, if Shaq had done what Kobe wanted him to do.
Yep.
I don't know if we get that Kobe.
And Kobe now has that benefit of the wisdom of age, where he can sort of sit back and reflect on it and say, look what we could have done. But no, the reality was it was starting to look finite already.
Right.
And then the other reality was, remember, once Kobe hit 2014, then 15 and 16, as hard as he worked, his body just broke down.
Broke him down.
Okay? So you can't stop that.
Right.
That just was,
right.
Unless Tom Brady has discovered the ultimate liability. I don't know if it would have worked for Kobe.
Well, plus the thing is, Skip, is that Tom Brady's really never relied on athleticism.
Nope. True.
True. So him slowing down, it's not like we're asking him to be a wide receiver. We're not needing him to be Julio or AB where he requires
I
quick
agree.
twitch.
But if Shaq had stayed in shape as he hit aging years, as he got to the backside of his career, would he have broken down? I don't know. He might have. It's hard to know.
I just believe that. I don't believe they get to 12. I don't believe anybody's getting to 12. Those Russell Celtic years, the 50s and the 60s, that's not happening again. We're not going to see that.
Yep.
But I do believe they would have won. They would have won more than 3 had Shaq showed up every year, training camp, ready to go, and not play his way, try to practice his way into shape. Be ready. If you stay ready, you won't have to get ready. But Skip, we age, we see things differently. You're like, man.
Yeah, I agree.
Perspective,
You know what?
right?
I must say, though, because I was a big Shaq fan, it hurt my eyes and then it hurt my soul to watch him in his fading years. Because even after he got traded to Miami, he did make 3 straight All-Star teams, but it started to look...
He should have won the MVP over Steve Nash that year.
You could have said, you could.
But then, Skip, he's not supposed to do that.
No.
He's not supposed to go to Phoenix and Cleveland and Boston.
That was hard for me to watch. And a lot of it had to do with he had no use for trying to stay in shape.
Interesting.
Yeah, but once you get that age, and get that size, you got to start that early.
Yep.
That's what I tell guys when you retire. If you're a big guy, whatever, you better start. Guys keep the same eating habits, but not the same workout habits. And they went, well, how you do it?
Yeah.
Well, I eat less and I work out, still work out. You cannot.
Guess what? For the first time in your life, nobody's going to make you work out.
No.
How
no.
weird is
Except
that?
you.
Was that hard for you at first?
No, because
Always?
that's what the Broncos paid me for. I played the game for free. Y'all paid me to lift all the heavy-ass weight and run myself into the ground. That's what you was paying for. I play it for free. They know it, though.
They didn't know.
They didn't know it.
Okay.
I think they wouldn't agree.
I know it's not hard for you to work out either, Skip. Me, I'm still working.
Okay.
We're gonna stay talking about some teammate chemistry. Are Zeke's teammates starting to lose patience with his holdout? Antonio Cromartie is with us again. He'll share his thoughts next.
No mercy.
While Ezekiel Elliott continues his holdout in Cabo, the rest of his team is preparing for the regular season. After practice yesterday, Cowboys All-Pro guard Zach Martin seemed confident with the players they already have in Dallas, including Zeke's rookie backup, Tony Pollard. Take a listen.
Been a month, the regular season's closer. Is it any different for you guys as teammates with him still not here?
Listen, we're preparing for the season, and we're going to have to play with what we got, and what we got is a damn good back in Tony Pollard. So, obviously you'd want him out here, but we're prepared to get ready for week 1.
We're now joined by former All-Pro cornerback Antonio Cromartie. Good to have you with us. So I want you to think about this for a sec. If you are a veteran in the Cowboys locker room, would you like it if you hear a veteran leader like this say this?
No, you don't want to hear. I mean, the comments he said, my whole thing is this. You say you have a damn good back and Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard ain't did nothing. He hasn't had more than 100 carries when he was at Memphis. He hasn't done anything. Yes, he shows flashes, but he's not Ezekiel Elliott. And I don't think I got to say, hey, look, this is my thing is, he's going through his contract dispute. We dealt with the same thing when Darrelle Reeves was in his. You never heard a teammate say anything bad about Darrelle Reeves. The only thing we said, you know what, we wish he was here. We hope that he gets his contract done. Leave it at that. Everything that we have around on our team, we have to get prepared for week 1. And leave it at that. You don't have to say, oh, we have a damn good back in Tony Pollard. What Tony Pollard has done? He hasn't played 16 games in the NFL season. He's playing against a scheme in the preseason that's very vanilla. They're not game planning. They're not doing any of that. So how are you going to say we got a damn good back? I don't see it yet. You don't do that to your teammates. What you do is you come out and you say, you know what, we wish he was here. We hope we get the contract stuff done before week 1. We love to have him back, but right now we're just preparing for the season. Leave it at that.
For me, I didn't have a problem with it, Skip, because the thing, long as he don't talk about this man money or talking about he needs to get back here or do what the Steelers did to Le'Veon Bell last year, I'm cool with it. Because I believe he's speaking as a veteran. He's like, look, guys, we would love to have Ezekiel Elliott here, but we're going to have to play the season. They're not going to forfeit any games because Zeke is not here. I believe he's trying to give Tony Pollard confidence because that's what we need. He's a rookie running back, and there's a great chance that if Zeke doesn't show up week 1, he's going to get the majority of the carries. Yep. Now, I need this guy to have confidence that we got confidence in his butt. So I'm going to try to build him up now. I'm definitely trying to build him up, but I'm also telling Jerry, hey, Jerry, this guy ain't Zeke now. You need to go on in there and you want the Super Bowl, that guy can run us to the Super Bowl. But for me to believe that this guy, Tony Pollard, who only twice in his college career carried the ball double digits. Twice! And you actually think, how many games you think the Cowboys are going to win with a running back that can't carry the ball double digits? How many games has Zeke played in the NFL where he didn't carry double digits? Probably none. So with that being said, Skip, I don't have a problem because I believe he's speaking from a place that I need to get my teammates to know that this might be the team that we have to play the Giants with on opening day with. And I need them to know that we have confidence that Tony Pollard could get the job. But Zach Martin knows deep down they're not going anywhere unless they get 2-1 in that locker room.
Can they win the first 2 games without him?
Probably.
Okay, there we go.
Maybe.
So back to your comments. And I liked your comments. And I agree with you. This was a dangerous statement from a veteran leader. I believe it was a necessary statement as the clock ticks toward the final week building up to game 1. You've already predicted you think by next Tuesday or so it's just going to get done.
Deadline.
Okay? So I hope you're right, and I believe you will be right. But I don't know it for a fact. So I think there's still some chance they're going to have to play the Giants on opening day and then go to Washington in week 2 without 21. And if they do, this is where you and I diverge. You say you don't see it yet from that kid. I do. And again, I could be wrong, but I've been pretty right before. I told you I saw Dak Prescott play 1 preseason game here at the Coliseum against the Rams. I said, that's the most poised rookie quarterback I believe I've ever seen, just on looking comfortable, looking like he belongs.
Definitely.
Okay, is he going to be Tom Brady? No, but he's a very good NFL quarterback. And they stole him in the 4th round. And they believe, as a franchise, that Tony Pollard will be their Dak Prescott of running backs in that they stole a diamond in the 4th round rough. And I think they're saying, between the lines, that the Memphis coach, and I don't want to call him out by name, but that he made the mistake that they are thriving on. I think Zach Martin, I'm going to put him in perspective. No Cowboy in the history of their franchise has started a career by making 5 straight Pro Bowls and 5 All-Pro teams.
Yeah, first time.
He did. Zach Martin did. So he has some credibility in the locker room.
He's a damn good player.
The truth is, he doesn't speak very much. I rarely see him quoted. In fact, I believe that's the first time I've seen him quoted on video where I actually saw him talking.
Really?
I have not.
Well, none of the guys. I mean, you don't even see Tyron Smith.
No,
Their linemen don't really do a whole lot.
I don't.
A lot of talking.
Travis
No.
Frederick, I don't see him.
The O-line,
I was shocked we had video of this.
most O-linemen prefer not to talk.
Okay.
They just want to go do their job. They leave that. They say they leave the talking to the pretty guys. They let the wide receivers and running back, quarterback. We do the dirty work. Let you guys.
He's a veteran, so it's good to hear from him.
Remember, Zach Martin started for all 4 years at left tackle for Notre Dame. Not bad. In the last 2 years, he was elected team captain of Notre Dame. So he's got some leadership credibility.
Yeah.
And I believe he stated a cold, hard fact that Ezekiel Elliott will not love. He will not love this, yet at least Zach Martin has been a reason, at least he's helped Zeke lead the league in average rush yards per game for his first 3 years, which is also an extraordinary feat. But he at least has been paving some of that way, albeit at right guard, not left tackle, where Ty Smith is, obviously. Okay, so this is going to be like a catalyst comment that it's going to go one way or the other. But I think he decided it was time. As a veteran leader, I just got to make the case. We do have a damn good back. That's what he's seeing. Again, to your point, it's just the preseason. I just have to go on eye test. I'm seeing a guy who can play in the league. That's all I'm saying is he can play. He has like an easy, effortless sort of glide, and he's been banging it between the tackles in ways they didn't even ask him to at Memphis. They had Darrell Henderson, who went in the 3rd round to the Rams, and he's built lower and stouter and sort of squattier. You know, he's more of a pile driver.
Right.
And so the Rams said, we want that guy because they lost C.J. Anderson, obviously. So we need that guy as our 1A or B to Todd Gurley.
Yes.
Okay? And the Cowboys said, well, guess what? In round 4, we love your slot receiver, because that's kind of what he was. He was kind of a slot receiver because he did carry it some. And what Will McClay, their draft master, saw was he can run the football in our league. Okay? So let's see. All I know is he fell out of heaven into the Cowboys' lap, because if they were going to try to go with Alfred Morris into game 1 and 2, I'd be a little shaky on that, because he looks like he's getting up there.
This is the kind of talk, Skip, that you start getting from veteran players as the season gets closer.
Yes,
you notice he never said anything the first week,
No.
the second week, the third, because he thought it's going to get
The clock is ticking, man.
So now,
It's
Skip,
ticking.
hold on, this thing might be reality. We might have to play a couple of games.
Okay? So I told him to start the show. NFL, like any pro sport, it's a double-edged sword. You have dual goals going on at the same time. There's earning and there's winning. And the twain don't always meet. You know, they don't dovetail because you want to earn, you want to win, but ultimately, to me, and I think you found this out, winning should be the ultimate priority.
Yeah.
Because you can go farther off winning in your post-career, right? Where you have cachet. You got 3 Super Bowl rings and 3 tries. That's pretty great, okay? That works. So, again,
but I wanted to be compensated.
No, I know
for
you
that.
do.
Yeah.
And obviously, they all do.
Right.
And just for the record, Zach Martin got his money.
Thank you.
And it was a year ago in the offseason, before
So
last
it's easy
year.
Thank you. It's easy to say
that.
It's
That's easy to
easier.
say.
Yes.
It's easier. And by the way, his money is shockingly equal to Todd Gurley's money. It's like exactly the bonus, the guarantee, and the annual. It's like he got a Todd Gurley deal.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Which is what I think Zeke would like to have. He'd like $1 more in all those categories, or maybe one category he'd get a much more.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay? So it's easier for Zach to say it, but he also knows that their goal is to go win the Super Bowl, because he thinks, I think in his heart of hearts, they got a good shot.
Yes.
Would they have a better shot with 21? You better believe they would.
Yeah.
Will Zeke benefit from Tony Pollard? Sure. Will that extend his career?
Well, how about Zach Martin say, hey, Jerry, take some of my money and give it to Zeke. He going to do that?
Tom Brady's been doing it for
Hey,
a long
I'm
time.
talking about
Tom Brady.
We talking about Zach Martin.
We talking about Zach. Is he gonna go to Jerry and say, you know what, Jerry, take a few million from mine and give it to Zeke?
Might he say you could reorder my money?
Hey, don't reorder. No, don't reorder.
Well, you know, you
shuffle
rob
the
Peter to pay Paul.
Exactly. So in other words, turn that his base salary into signing bonus.
Yeah, you could do that.
There it
You could
is.
offer. And I don't doubt behind the scenes they're manipulating all that right now.
Oh, you do. I'm sure they've gone to Ty Smith several
Because that's a Jerry special.
Well, they got 6 days.
I was
They
just
do.
thinking over the next couple days, I'll be curious if anyone else has any more quotes to just remind everyone how they're doing. That's what I'm
What
starting
if
to think.
Zeke out there eating them Popeye chicken sandwiches?
not.
Banging. Banging.
Marshall
sweet
Falk
tea.
won't let him.
Yeah, there's no
We need
way
to try
he's
one.
getting
Skip, you
away
want
with
to try
that
one?
with that
I'm
guy.
a Skip, we got to try it, Skip.
How can you
I want to try it.
gloat
Everyone's
about
talking
what
about
you're
it.
posting on IG
Well, they sold out.
weightlifting
You
and
ain't
you
gonna
want to
get no
eat
Popeyes
Popeyes?
chicken sandwich. They sold out everywhere.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like the best new thing.
We got to try it, Skip. Me and you and Jenny go try it.
We don't.
Yeah, we got to try it. It's awful. It's going to go.
6
You see what I'm
a.m.
saying? You hear Jenny? Now, he keeps talking about the team. The team.
It's a team effort.
In order for us to keep rising, Skip, we got to do things together, which means eat chicken sandwich.
When it comes to food, we is me.
Fair. We're not going to win that debate ever. Antonio, it's been great to have you all week.
Thank
Good
you.
stuff always. So we've been following Hard Knocks, and clearly Jon Gruden is loving the cameras. Has the show helped or hurt him? Can't wait to see what they say next.
No mercy.
Hey guys, Jenny Taft here. September is National Life Insurance Awareness Month. Most people aren't aware of that. In fact, most people aren't aware they need life insurance at all. That's why 40% of Americans don't have it. But getting life insurance doesn't need to be difficult or expensive. Right now, prices are the lowest they've been in 20 years, and Policy Genius has made it easier than ever to get covered. Policy Genius is the easy way to shop for life insurance online. In minutes, you can compare quotes from top insurers to find your best price. Once you apply, the Policy Genius team will handle all the paperwork and red tape. If you need life insurance but you just haven't gotten around to it, National Life Insurance Awareness Month is as good a time as any to get started. Go to policygenius.com, get quotes, and apply in minutes. You can do the whole thing on your phone right now, but not when you're driving. Policy Genius, the easy way to compare and buy life insurance.
No mercy.
Well, Jon Gruden has definitely made his mark on this season of Hard Knocks, taking full advantage of the spotlight. Last night's episode, Gruden was sure to make it known that he wasn't happy about having to play on a shortened 80-yard field last week in Canada, and he has also turned his rallying call, "knock on wood if you're with me," into his own personal catchphrase during team meetings. Gruden had another interesting moment that we saw last night. Check it out for yourself.
Can you count to 0 from 100 minus 3s?
Can I count from 0 to 100?
100 to 0.
No.
100, 97, 94, 91, 88, 85, 82, 79, 76, 73. Can you do that?
Go.
70, 67, 64, 61, 58, 55, 52, 49, 46, 43, 40, 37, 34, 31, 28, 25, 22, 19, 16, 13, 10. 7, 4, 1.
How long did it take you to get that?
I don't know.
That's all them numbers. That's that bad G's.
That's right, man.
All right. Well, Shannon, has Hard Knocks been a good thing or a bad thing for Gruden? And can you do that?
Really, Skip? It's like Jon Gruden, what Jon Gruden just did, Skip, he's the guy that goes in there early and looks at the eye chart and looks at the smallest numbers and gets in there and they say, "Can you read it?" And he reads it. They're like, "Oh, you got perfect vision. You got 13 Really? What people got an opportunity to see last night is that what people that know Jon Gruden that's been around the NFL already knew. It's about him.
Whew.
It's always been like that, Skip. That didn't change. Skip, the phrase, the term "knock on wood," is the way he's using it was not the way it was meant to be.
It always jars me because I use it all the time on the show.
I know.
For luck.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knock on wood, something. Let me knock on wood. I don't want anything bad to happen.
Yep.
Woo, but knock on wood, I got there safely.
I was wondering if I missed something. Like
Knock on wood if you agree. Skip, about 10. I'm like, no, I'm sitting there, I'm on for. I ain't knocking on wood. No.
By the way, they're showing Antonio, and I don't think
That's
he
what
ever
I
knocked
think.
on wood one time, and he's sitting in the back row.
I was wondering about that. If it was editing or if he was not knocking.
And you know what? I didn't have any problem with him not doing it. 'Cause it's like, I don't think I would do it either.
Yeah, I'm done with this. Skip, look. He's made it about him, and it's kind of hard when you don't have a whole lot of personality. Really, when you really get down to it, Skip, you got two personalities. You got him and AB. You got a couple of the rookies. I thought the rookie safety was good, but they kind of like after the first episode, they kind of phased him away, and it was been about.
Whatever happened to Von Tess?
I know.
I don't know.
Cleveland Farrell.
Yeah, he had a moment.
He was the third or the fourth pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Nothing.
True.
But this is about Jon. It's always been about him, and the people at home are getting an opportunity. How much he wants it to be about him, because at the end of the day, Skip, they control the editing process. They can edit in or out whatever they want.
Yep.
And it's funny how so much of Jon Gruden gets edited in.
So Hard Knocks has actually become Gruden Knocks, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Because it's all about Gruden Knocks.
That's good.
Right?
Knock on wood if you're ready for this to end. Oh, that's glad.
There were a lot of them.
I got to knock on wood for Jon Gruden because he needs some help. I do not think this has been a good thing for him because it has sent him completely over the edge into AB-ism. His ego is bigger than Antonio's. And as you know, I've always been a Gruden fan. I'm still trying to be a Gruden fan. And when he got hired, we're going back now 2 years ago, I told you, yes, I believe he can win a Super Bowl over his next, he got 10 years. I believe he can take the Raiders back to the Super Bowl and win one. Why? Because I covered his team, his first go-round in Oakland back in 2001, and he could create a locker room force field as powerfully as anyone I've ever been around this side of Jimmy Johnson, when Jimmy coached the Cowboys.
Right.
That was number one on my list because, whew, the energy that Jimmy could create in that locker room or in University of Miami's locker room, wherever he was coaching, was just extraordinary.
Yeah.
It was palpable. They were kind of walking and living in fear of Jimmy, but in a good way. Everybody was on high alert, and it worked. And with Jon, the first go-round in Oakland, I didn't see all this grandstanding, showboating, count backwards by 3. What are you doing? That proved what?
Yeah.
That contributed what? Look at me. You know, I wanted one of the players to say,
do it by 7s or do it by 9. Go.
Go.
91.
It's hard.
Exactly.
I think he had practiced.
Well,
Of course he did.
Yeah, right?
Sure. He had been waiting
because
for that.
that's a way of like, man, Jon Gruden is a savant. He can count backwards from 100 by 3s. Really, Skip? Okay, what exactly did that prove?
It contributes to winning how?
Did you guys practice it after you heard it? Did you try to do it?
No.
in your
I
head?
did try it.
I did too, and
after a couple
struggled.
of minutes, no, I was starting to get a hold of
Jenny,
it.
you struggled, really, Jenny?
Come on.
Stop it, no.
It was
Come
really
on.
hard. Well, you have to think about it. You can't go as fast as how he did it.
No.
Yeah, when you practice, because Skip, he went on the practice field knowing, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do it today, I'm going to pull this one out.
Don't you think he alerted the HBO crew?
Yes, I got something
Get
for you.
this.
Yeah.
You got to get this.
Man.
Huh? And then he's on the field up in Winnipeg, and at first he's got no problem with the field, and then he tells, you know, he's talking to the Packers coaches and LaFleur, and then he walks to the sideline, and he's got terrible problems with it. He's ranting and raving about it.
Exactly.
And then they trail at halftime. He goes in and gives a fire and brimstone pre-season game speech at halftime, trying to just light them up, screaming and yelling like it's the Super Bowl. And they go out and back him up by rallying under Nate Peterman to get back and pull it off with a walk-off field goal. And he goes in like, look at me, I did it. Congratulate yourselves. No, you're saying congratulate me because I pulled it off.
This pep talk that I gave you to have lit a fire up under you guys.
Man, I don't know.
That's your guy. No. You got
that's guy. I'm trying to hang in, but I don't love this.
Yeah, you hanging in about
And you know
3.
what? Those 9 years in that Monday night booth, I think that sent him a little over the edge. It did. He became a little bit of a caricature of Jon Gruden.
Because when they Skip, I mean, he made some facial expressions. But I believe once they started comparing Chucky, the doll, the movie Child's Play, to Jon Gruden, it got even worse on the sideline. I mean, and then in the booth, it just went crazy. But the guy should be used to being on camera. Jon Gruden, you're who you are. Everybody knows who you are. They follow. If you watch football, Monday Night Football over the last decade, you know who Jon Gruden is. If you go back, you know he coached the Raiders. You know he coached for the Tampa. But all this is unnecessary. I've never seen this. Normally the coaches try to stay back, try to stay out of it. Okay, let the guys, even Brian Billick.
Yeah,
and he loved the camera.
I know. Yeah.
But it was me, Rod, and Ray, and the rookies, Todd Heap, Goose. Why Jon Gruden want to be the starter? Nah, next year I'm not watching it unless it's the Patriots. Now, the Patriots got to get a turn at this, Skip. Now, everybody keep getting a turn. They keep forcing everybody else. I want Pats. I want Pats.
be kind of boring.
I don't know how they could even fill an hour. What would Belichick even allow them to do?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. Not a thing. And with no Gronk, snooze fest.
Yeah.
It's a snooze fest.
So my final takeaway is Jon has gotten so relentlessly sarcastic and negative toward all his players, and he grandstands with, he's like Aaron Rodgers. Aaron drives me crazy, pointing, blaming, blaming.
What are we doing, man? Come on.
What are we doing? It's like, don't look at me, look at them. I'm just the coach, right? They can't live up to my standards. Well, the bottom line to this is, how long will he last with Antonio Brown? And I just don't think it's going to work. They will clash when the real game starts.
Absolutely. When he's not getting his when he's not getting his balls.
I don't know. AB better start knocking on wood because
Yeah.
if everyone else is doing it, he needs to start being a part of the team.
Yeah.
He's
Y'all
not
wonder what
above
happened
that.
when they show that clip. They showed that to him. Well, Antonio's not knocking on wood, coach.
They better make a change there. Telling, very telling.
Knock on wood if this conversation is
Seriously,
ending.
let's move on.
Thank you.
Okay, how much more valuable is Zeke than Dak? We'll discuss that next with the NFL Network's James Jones.
No mercy.
Despite Ezekiel Elliott holding out, the All-Pro running back has still cracked the top 20 on the NFL Network and ESPN's list of the top 100 players entering this season. Dak Prescott, on the other hand, did not make the cut for either of those lists. We are now joined by NFL Network analyst James Jones. James, good to have you with us.
Good morning.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Good to see y'all.
You've been lighting it up over there on that other network.
Man, I'm trying to make it. Hey,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be like y'all.
You now are on the record saying that the Cowboys need Zeke in order to reach the Super Bowl. So, how much more valuable is Zeke over Dak?
You just said it. If you want to win the Super Bowl, you get Zeke in the building. With Zeke not in that building, defensive coordinators are not losing sleep.
Not losing sleep, Skip. Wide awake.
With Zeke in the building,
over there?
with Zeke in the
Back up.
building, these defensive coordinators are losing sleep. How do we stop Zeke? What does that do for Dak? That makes it easy for Dak because now it's 8 in the box. You're going to get one-on-one coverage. Who else does that make it easier on? Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper is a very good wide receiver. If he gets man-to-man, he's going to win every time. And the separation is going to be very good. Dak can make these easy throws. With Zeke not there, now you could play coverage. Now you force Dak to throw the ball in the tight windows, to throw his receivers open. He has not been able to do that consistently. He may have a good game here, may have a good game there, but consistently he has not been able to do that. So there is no Super Bowl without Zeke in the building because I don't think Dak's right arm could take the Dallas Cowboys with a good defense to the Super Bowl. So, Jerry, if you want to make it to the Super Bowl, you have to get 21 in the building. I understand the young boy could play, but you're not getting off the bus as a defense saying we have to stop Tony Pollard.
Wait,
you're not.
No, you're talking about Mike Pollard.
Mike.
He calls him Mike Pollard.
You're not.
We've corrected
Yeah,
you.
you're not
okay.
getting off the bus as a defense saying we have to stop him. Dak will have to beat us, and I don't think Dak can do that consistently. You might, in this division, you might win 9 games, 10 games, but when you get in the playoffs, if you do not have Zeke, you're not going to make a playoff run. You will not win a Super Bowl.
I was watching Saturday, NFL Network. This man called for his camera to tell Jerry Jones,
I told
Jerry, wise up. You're going nowhere without 21.
These
right?
GMs, I mean, it's crazy, these owners and GMs, when you have an opportunity to go win a Super Bowl, you let a couple dollars stop you from getting one of your best players in the building, and your window's going to close. I don't understand the Chargers. You have Phillip Rivers for a little while long. Get Melvin in there. You have an opportunity to go make a run. Get Zeke in the building. You have a very young core. You have an opportunity to go make a run for a long time. And if you don't do that, you are going to lose this season. And at the end of the season, you're going to think Tony Pollard could have did it, but he's not Zeke. Zeke is arguably the best back in our game today.
I had to get me a mint, Skip, so I'm not able to talk right now. You go ahead.
Really? Yeah. Why are you sucking on a mint?
I'm feeling you liked that.
You hear the man, what he spoke,
Does that mean that sucks? That
No.
sucks?
What he said is everything I've been trying to tell you for 3 years, Skip, and now you hear it from a different voice.
Now we have somebody else who's wrong on this show.
Oh, my goodness. There's one guy wrong on here, Skip, if you're going the other route.
I want to be very clear about this.
Okay.
I have fought him on this point about Zeke. I call Ezekiel Elliott the best running back in football.
He is.
We were preaching to each other's choir on that. He calls Saquon. For a while, he tried to do Le'Veon.
Le'Veon
now
was.
he's off Le'Veon's bandwagon.
The
He's
man
on
missed the
Saquon.
whole year.
Yeah, he
Okay,
did.
That's
whatever.
what he does.
But in the end, just by the simple virtue of the position that the quarterback plays, he is more valuable than the running back. And my quarterback, I've said this before, I'm going to say it one more time for this man's benefit. He has become the most underappreciated, underrespected, and finally underrated quarterback in the whole National Football League, because we've now had, 3 straight top 100 kind of lists? He doesn't even make the top 100. What? This is a man.
I think the reason is he don't make the top 100 is because his numbers without Zeke. His numbers without Zeke go way, 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 way down. I mean, he's 3-3, 5 touchdowns, 7 picks. With Zeke, he's a totally different quarterback. So in the top 100, when these players are voting, you're thinking about that. Can he win without Zeke? I don't know. So that doesn't put him in the top 100 as a player.
He's a top 50 current Cowboy.
So Zeke was 100% healthy for the first 8 games last year, and they fell to 3-5. So Zeke couldn't rise above that.
And they made a run, though.
Yeah. Guess what happened? Jerry went out and got him a real bona fide #1 wide receiver.
Who's seen a lot of man-to-man.
I got you. But still, Dak has never, to that point, he had never had anybody he could trust as a one, as somebody I can trust on 3rd and 6. I can go there, and he's going to catch it for me.
Very true.
He's going to get open, because Des Bryant and Dak were never on the same wavelength, and you, the Hall of Famer, dismissed Des Bryant as a broken-down shell of himself in 2017.
Yeah, he was.
So that's
I
what
can
you're
lie.
stuck with when you lose Zeke.
So
you
this
don't even have.
This is the difference, though. When you get Amari Cooper compared to a Dez Bryant, Amari Cooper is a route runner.
Yep.
And if you're a route runner and you're
you know.
seeing man-to-man coverage, you are going to get separation.
Yes.
Amari Cooper is special off the line of scrimmage. And the reason why I say Dak needs Zeke is because you get man-to-man, he needs to see separation. He's not going to be able to have Coop have a DB linked up and throw him open. And that's what Coop gives him. Coop is going to win the route, and you're going to see his separation is going to be from me to you. That's what Dak needs to see. But without Zeke there, he's not going to get that man-to-man coverage, so it's going to be tighter windows to make these throws. And that's why I said Zeke helps everybody, including Coop. They are all good players, but Zeke makes them much better.
Okay, we've never done this before, but if I have to split the credit for the 2 division championships that they have won in the 3 years those two have been together, I'm still going 60% Dak, 40% Zeke. If we just have to split it between those two. Because my quarterback has led the National Football League over his first 3 years in game-winning drives. My quarterback has outplayed other great quarterbacks like Aaron Rodgers 3 times. Jared Goff was number 48 on this list, and he's outplayed him twice. And in the biggest picture, he set the all-time record for completion percentage of a quarterback in his first 3 years. And finally, once he got Amari, he just took off last year. They went 8-2, including the 2 playoff games. And he was #1 in passes completed over the last 10 games in the National Football League. And I don't want to bore you with all the stats, but his stats said he was a top 5 performer among quarterbacks over the last 10 games of last year. Russell Wilson was what? How high was he? Like 9 on that list? He outplayed Russell head-to-head at Jerry World in a playoff game. Had a QBR of 74-70 for Russell Wilson, because this young man can play. This young man can throw. And by the way, last quick point. The defending champion Eagles, in that 10-game stretch, he met him twice. He outplayed Carson Wentz twice, and in 2 fourth quarters and an overtime against the defending champs, he threw for a combined total of 331 yards, 24 of 28 with 4 touchdowns and no interceptions. That's hard to do if you're just average and you don't belong in the top 100.
If you put a Zeke behind an Aaron Rodgers, Carson Wentz, and they get man-to-man coverage.
Put him in that offense with that offensive line.
Oh my goodness, man-to-man coverage across the board. Like I seen it with my own eyes. We are seeing cover 2. We are seeing 55 press man-to-man. When we got Eddie Lacy, we like 1 high, man. Like, where did this come from? It's so much easier. I couldn't imagine
a big-time quarterback with Zeke in the backfield and just able to throw one-on-one coverage. That's what he gives Dak, and that's why Dak is able to be as good as Dak
Who
is.
led the National Football League during the playoffs in rushing last year? Who led? New England?
New England did.
Oh, okay. How did that happen? That's very interesting. There's not one guy, although Sony was
the run
emerging.
game helped him win that Super Bowl.
Because you know why? I don't believe Sonny Michel can do this. I know what 12 can do. He got 5 of these things. So I know what he can do. I've seen him throw for 500, 400, 400.
Which one? Who are you talking about?
Tom Brady.
Oh, he got 6 of these things.
No, I'm saying before Gordon. So coordinators know.
Yeah.
I know Tom can beat me throwing it. I would rather you run the football because I don't want the ball in Tom's hand. If Tom puts the ball if Tom puts the ball in Burkhead's belly or Sonny Michel's belly, I got a better chance of beating you. Tom Brady, I know what Tom Brady can do. Skip, if you look at the Cowboys, their best 2 seasons in the last decade, you look at 2014 and 2016, what did they do? They led the NFL in rush. DeMarco Murray had over 1,800. Tony Romo did. DeMarco Murray was Offensive Player of the Year. Tony Romo finished second in the MVP voting. Dak Prescott in 2016. Zeke Elliott over 1,600. Dak was the Rookie of the Year. Skip, they've set this offense up to run. If you can run it, they're going to drop that 8th guy down. You're going to get single high. But then when they start going cover 6, they 6 kick, they go quarters. Oh, no. He can't throw. Skip, I just gave you the numbers.
Every offense is set up to run. That's the name of the game.
No.
It makes it easier. Yes, it is.
But, yeah, we might set it up to run, but we ain't got Zeke in that offensive line to run behind.
Why does Dan Marino have no Super Bowls? Why?
Because
he said, I don't want a running game.
Because in 16 years, he had one guy to make 1,000 yards.
That's the route the Cowboys going. If you don't want to win,
you don't want to win.
You don't want a Super Bowl.
You don't want to win.
No run game.
Don't put Zeke in.
Just watch them win the first 2 games without Zeke.
They might. I'm telling you, they might win a couple games. But when you get in the playoffs and you make this playoff push, you are not
You're going to get a false sense, Skip. You're going to fall into that trap like Jerry. You're going to beat the Giants, who's not very good. You're going to beat Washington, who's not very good with Case Keenum. And you're going to get this false sense that, man, we can do this without Zeke.
Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
One of these days soon, you're going to have to sit over there and say, you know what? Your quarterback's really good. You're going to have to say that.
I hope so.
Skip, you see, all I'm saying, okay, Skip, this is what we do. We're on a seesaw. One side up, one side down. Your guy right here in the middle. He ain't on the bad side. He ain't on the good side. He in the middle. Once you accept that, he's a middle-of-the-road quarterback. You're going to be just fine. But you don't want to accept that.
Wow. That running back was so good against the Rams, he went nowhere.
You took one game. You took one game.
That was the game.
All right.
Unfortunately.
Good stuff, guys. James, thank you for joining us. I know Shannon appreciated the direction you went there.
He needed help.
And just a reminder, NFL Network exclusively carries Thursday night football games week 2 and 3 before Fox and Amazon Prime join in on the action starting week 4 with Eagles-Packers. So appreciate your stuff, James. Good to have you. Who is going to win the Heisman this season? Yeah, why not go there? Joel Klatt joins us next to tell us what he thinks.
No mercy.
I'm Jenny Taft. Thank you for listening to the Undisputed podcast. But before the show moves along, here's a quick word from our friends over at the Fantasy Footballers podcast. The NFL season is back, and that means one thing. It's fantasy football time. The Fantasy Footballers podcast is the most downloaded fantasy football podcast for a reason. It has the most accurate rankings as measured by fantasy pros, so you have a leg up on your competition. Want to dominate the waiver wire in your league? Be the first to find those hidden sleepers or grab those breakout stars before everyone else? Then you should listen to the Fantasy Footballers podcast to get the most up-to-date intel to win your matchup each week. Subscribe right now to the Fantasy Footballers podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. You can also visit them on the web at thefantasyfootballers.com. Subscribe now and dominate your fantasy football league.
No mercy.
College football is back this weekend, beginning with the all-new Big Noon Kickoff pregame show. Then it's right into the action as FAU visits 5th-ranked Ohio State Saturday starting at 11 a.m. Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. This weekend will also be when the Heisman race really starts. Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence is currently the betting favorite at plus 250, according to our friends at Fox Bet. Right behind him is Alabama's Tua Tagovailoa at plus 275, followed by former Bama quarterback Jalen Hurts, who will attempt to be the third straight Oklahoma player to take home the award at plus 1,100. We are now joined by Fox football college analyst Joel Klatt.
Hey,
Good to be back.
It's a new year.
Football
Happy New
season.
Year.
I know, right? It is like New Year. I love it.
We're just getting started, but we might as well jump to the end. Joel,
Okay.
who wins the Heisman this year?
I mean, listen, you always know one thing. You never want to be the preseason favorite because then
They
you take all the arrows, you know.
Yep.
However, having said that, and Shannon, you know this better than anybody, as an athlete really, but in particular a quarterback, you are defined by what you do against the best competition and in the biggest moments. That's why Trevor Lawrence is my favorite going into this season. I've got to put him as the favorite because of what he did in the biggest moments a year ago. That national championship game was sensational. In large part, the reason last year we talked about Tua so glowingly at the beginning of the season for the Heisman Trophy was because of what he did against Georgia in the national championship the year before. So I think Trevor is getting some of that, but also it's more than that. It's also what he does against the best defenses that he faces. When you take a look at the top 30 defenses in the country, Trevor Lawrence played a couple of those teams. He had a higher completion percentage in those games versus the rest of his games. He threw for 6 touchdowns, no interceptions against the best defenses that he faced versus 24 touchdowns, 4 interceptions against everybody else. And he had a 173 rating against a 154 rating. So he was better against the best defenses that he played. I want my quarterback to show up in the biggest moments, and that's why Trevor Lawrence is there. If I had to put someone just behind him, it's actually not Tua. It's Sam Ehlinger.
Wow.
That's the best value on the board by far. And let me tell you why. Since 2000, we've only seen a few Power 5 quarterbacks throw for 25 touchdowns and run for 15 touchdowns in a season. You know what those names are? Tim Tebow, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel, Marcus Mariota, and Lamar Jackson, who did it twice.
Wow.
What is the one thing that all of those guys have in common? They won a Heisman Trophy. Sam Ehlinger did that last season. He plays for the University of Texas. If they can beat LSU in week 2 and win the Big 12, they're likely a playoff team. That's why I think Sam Ehlinger is the one that actually should be just behind Trevor Lawrence in the Heisman.
And Baker Mayfield has no use for him. Go ahead.
We learned that last
Come on,
year.
Baker.
Shannon?
You know the thing is, I think I'm going to go Tua, but Trevor Lawrence has an easier schedule.
Yeah, he does.
The ACC is terrible. Let's be all the way.
I'm with you on that.
Let's be all the way 1,000, Skip. When you talk about your stiffest competition, is Syracuse? Really? Because everybody else, because Notre Dame, they're going to miss Notre Dame this year. Notre Dame, I don't know how Notre Dame pulled this off. They're in the ACC and basketball and all the other sports, but football, they're independent.
They're just kind of in the
Yeah, we're going to keep all the money. We're going to keep just in case. And you're right. And I think it might help Lawrence that he did have that big game.
Yeah.
What hurt Tua, what also might hurt Trevor Lawrence, Skip, is that they get such big leads. Tua was out the game at the half.
Yeah.
They're going to be blowing teams out.
Yeah.
So where he could legitimately throw 5 or 6 touchdowns, he's going to be at 3. And he's going to be done with 250 instead of 310 and 4 touchdowns. He's going to have 250 and maybe 2 to 3 touchdowns. And I believe that's what hurt Tua. They were blowing teams out. They're up, by 42-7 at the half, and then he's done. And then I think the injuries. He had the knee injury and the ankle injury, and that really hurt him. He was not the same player at the end as he was the beginning. But old St. Nick gave a little pep talk. He said, son, that's behind us. We lost that game. Clemson was the better team. They don't, they did lose a lot of those D linemen. They playing currently in the NFL. Lost a couple of those corners too, but the offense is still gonna be explosive. I'm gonna take my guy TT. I'm gonna take old TT.
Oh.
Take old TT.
New thing?
Yep.
Lord have mercy.
I haven't heard that
How often are we going to hear that this year, right?
TT.
Here we go.
TT for the tub.
You aren't going to Oklahoma again, are you?
Joel Klatt, I hate to disappoint you, but the best value by far on this board right now is the 3rd overall choice, Jalen Hurts.
Okay.
You can have your Sam Ehlinger. I'm going to take the arch rival up in Norman.
Sure.
And I'll tell you why. If you give Lincoln Riley Jalen Hurts, you better look out. because what has Lincoln Riley just done in order? He took an undersized overachiever whom Cliff Kingsbury had demoted at Texas Tech, Baker Mayfield, and he turned out the statistically greatest season in the history of college football and won the Heisman. Then he took a tiny little baseball player who had not been great
Even
at
more
Texas A&M.
undersized.
He was even more. Tiny little baseball player. Tiny little legs. Little legs. And what did he do? He topped Baker's season with stats. Why was he able to do that? Because they are involved in Big 12 shootout after shootout after shootout. And I fear that the Oklahoma defense this year will be not much better than the Oklahoma defense last year.
Interesting.
So Tua will be on the bench in the third and fourth quarter, and maybe your guy, Trevor, will be on the bench too often in the fairly weak ACC because you can't just roll it. You can't beat everybody 80-0, right? And this is going to be 55-54 on a weekly basis. And I don't think Sam Ehlinger can put up the volume of numbers that Lincoln Riley will produce, because I loved what Lane Kiffin said. He said, Kyler Murray looked like a slot receiver. He's built like a slot receiver. But Jalen Hurts is built like a running back.
Yeah.
And I know you guys both gave up on him as a thrower of the football at Alabama in the biggest moments, such as the national championship
Yeah, because they
game.
play defense in that conference.
Okay, I got it. I thought Jalen Hurts was an underrated thrower. I thought he was a decent thrower, and now you're giving him with the quarterback, you're giving him to the quarterback guru. Lincoln Riley is special, man.
Oh.
There's something going on there.
Yeah.
Really
We don't
special.
deny that.
And again, Kyler had 1,001 rush yards last year. I believe Jalen can have 1,000 yards rushing.
Here's my only problem. I love Jalen Hurts. I think he's going to have a sensational year. There's no doubt about it. But you actually said it in your description there. Kyler had to top what Baker did, right? I mean, the bar for an Oklahoma quarterback to win the Heisman is not just what's going on in this season around you. It's also what just happened at that school. So he's playing against kind of the ghosts of Oklahoma quarterback pass. That's a really tough bar to come up against, right? Because Kyler's season, he threw it for 300, ran it for 60 a game. That's never been done in the history of the sport. That's in large part why he won the Heisman Trophy last year. And also what you mentioned. I believe if Tua doesn't get hurt against Georgia, he probably wins the award, even with how great a season that Kyler had, in large part because Baker won it the previous season. I think voters are going to have a hard time at the end of the year. If Jalen has a great year, they're going to look at that and be like, well, I'm not really voting for Lincoln Riley. So who am I voting for? Am I voting for the system or am I voting for the player? That's why I think
the
it's going to
voters
be tough.
have no expectations for Jalen Hurts to throw the football, and all of a sudden he's throwing for
Then
300,
maybe.
400.
Then maybe.
Maybe he has a 500
You
yard
ain't
pass.
got you at 400?
I mean, at Oklahoma.
I forgot.
Oh,
Big
you
12
forgot.
defense.
You forgot.
There's also one other aspect I just wanted to touch on briefly because I think that it's going to be apparent come early this season. This Oklahoma offense, I think, is actually going to look a little bit different because of what you said. Jalen Hurts is more of a runner from a designed run perspective than Kyler was. Kyler was like a Ferrari.
Yeah.
He can get out and beat you in space, but they didn't want to necessarily design things for him to run because you cannot get that Ferrari nicked up. One dent on a Ferrari, man, that's it like ruins value goes way down. Versus Jalen Hurts, and I watched him in spring. He's built more like a Ford F-150, right? Like he'll get in there. You can design runs. What that does is that it slows the game down. It limits the number of possessions. So the volume of numbers might not be where Oklahoma has been in the last couple of years because they might not want to win 55-54 like they have in the previous season.
Do I need to remind Shannon Sharpe of what happened in the SEC championship game in the fourth quarter? Do I need to?
We got hurt. He got hurt.
He got hurt or he lost his confidence. I don't know what happened, but Jalen Hurts came in, and I saw him, if we could see this real quick, I saw him convert 4 straight third downs throwing the football. Bing, 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 bing. Here we go. Just, it looked like a kid. He's got a pretty good arm.
Do I need to remind you what happened in the national championship game?
Ooh. This is the last we saw of Jalen Hurts. Does this look like a guy? Wait until Lincoln Riley gets a hold of that.
He's in the best position he can be with Lincoln Riley. There's no denying
This is against Georgia's defense. Look at these throws. Look at this throw.
Remember, Jalen's not just playing against Tua and Trevor and Sam Ehlinger and Jonathan Taylor from Wisconsin. He's also playing against Baker Mayfield and Kyler Murray.
Okay, I think he just might show you he can overcome those stats. I just believe it. I think he's got a good shot at winning the Heisman.
So many storylines.
You know,
We haven't even had our
wouldn't
first
that
game
just
yet.
kill Shannon
Joel,
Sharpe's soul?
That ain't gonna happen.
good to have you back.
It's good to be back. By the way, on those odds, there's a quarterback ahead of another quarterback.
Which one?
Justin Fields is ahead of Jake Fromm on those odds, and yet Justin Fields didn't even beat Jake Fromm out. That's why he had to transfer. It seems odd, doesn't it?
Interesting. Well, we'll see him.
Doesn't that seem a little
We'll have the latest.
Duh.
Joel, good stuff. Thank you for being here. We got to switch gears to Carson Wentz.
Walk it through.
Change his playing style to avoid injury. Shannon, how are you going to talk about this one? We'll tell you next.
No mercy.
Carson Wentz isn't letting past injuries change how he plays the game. Wentz suffered a knee injury that ended his 2017 season and a back injury that cut his 2018 season short. But when he was asked about his ability to scramble, the Eagles QB said, quote, "When I need to make a guy miss in the pocket, when I need to get out and make a play, that's still definitely going to be a big part of my game." So Shannon, should Wentz still consider scrambling a big part of his game?
Yes, Skip, I think the biggest mistake that guys can make is that they try too soon to evolve into something that they want to be, but they want to do it in such a drastic manner. You take RG3, for example, Skip. He had been a quarterback that ran around and made plays his entire life. And he says, you know what? Next year, after the injury, I'm going to be Peyton Manning. I'm going to be Tom Brady. That's all I want to be.
Yep.
But he had never been that before. It took an evolution for Steve Young to become a pure pocket quarterback. It took an evolution for John Elway to become a pure pocket quarterback. And I believe the transition, although slow and gradual, will take place with Carson Wentz. But to think that he says, now I've been doing this, and a part of what makes him special is his ability to escape the pocket and throw the ball down the field. No, I'm not doing that no more. I'm strictly Brady. I'm strictly Manning. Nah.
No?
No.
I
don't
thought
do that.
Doug Peterson said early in camp we want him to stay in the pocket this year.
And do what?
Throw interceptions? I don't know.
That ain't happening.
Huh?
I'm thinking something around 30, 32, 33, and 8.
Really?
Down the picks.
I'm thinking of games played for Carson Wentz over his
16.
first 3 years. It went 16 the first year, and then it went 13, then it went down to 11. Are we headed for 9 this year?
I'm
I
thinking
don't know.
16.
Huh?
16.
Yeah. Here's what I think. The Bible says, pride goeth before the fall. And I think there's going to be a fall if he really starts to insist, I'm a running quarterback.
No,
you know?
he's not that.
Well, I know, but he thinks he's a big scrambler, big bad scrambler.
No, that's not what.
Yeah. Well, it has been a part of his game.
But hold on. Tom Brady was just talking about how he got 3 yards and how frustrating that must be for a defense. To say, welcome. Julian Edelman's going to catch Sonny Michel or Burkhead or Dorsett.
Yep.
Who the hell thought Tom Brady was scrambling for 3? You do what you have to do in the course of a game.
But Tom Brady ran the ugliest 40 in the history of the combine.
And that was the ugliest 3 yards he ever ran.
I thought it was nifty.
But it was effective. And that's what we're trying to get out of Carson. Skip, they're not going to design runs for him, but there are going to be times that he's going to need to get out of the pocket and to escape harm and get a first down. But he needs to be smart, get out of bounds and get down. Okay, fine. But you best believe he didn't earn the name Walk It To Him for nothing. When he throw that thing from the pocket, Skip, it's like a long handoff. You don't see very many 50 and 60-yard handoffs, but that's what he does.
You know what I heard between the lines of these comments? I heard identity crisis. I heard a young man who's not sure who he is anymore, like, I keep getting hurt, but I still got to be me. I got to run.
He's a top 10
Right?
quarterback, one of the best. He's the
Really?
best quarterback in the NFC East. That's what he knows for certain. That's what he is.
Well,
And it's not even close.
You got to be.
It's not even close.
You got to be healthy enough to play.
He gonna be
because
healthy.
I think we're going to see a lot of Josh McCown. That's what I think we're going to see.
I know, yeah. Mop up duty because we're going to be so far ahead.
You know, Carson Wentz, in a weird way, reminds me a little bit of Andrew Luck in that Andrew, in his first 3 years, just said, I'm going to run through that brick wall. I'm going to throw it through a brick wall. I'm going to hold it until the last second because I'm going to make a big play every time. And what did it get him? It got him hurt a lot.
It was a freak accident.
Got him
and
turnovers.
guess what? Even though he tore his ACL, he came back in the next play and threw a tub on a torn ACL.
Yeah, and then did he play in the playoffs? Nope.
Good thing, because they'd have steamrolled the playoffs. He'd have had a Super Bowl ring. It'd have been over for you.
I'm going to tell you one more time. No quarterback has more pressure on his shoulder pads than your quarterback does. $108 guaranteed $1 million.
Only thing
and
is-
no playoff snaps.
Only thing that saved you is that my guy didn't go to and get that Super Bowl because it'd have been over.
But
all
how
about the
about this, guys, for the Eagles? Could they be adding a Pro Bowl pass rusher to their roster?
Uh-oh.
Talk about that next.
Yeah.
No mercy.
Time for our final story of the day. The Dolphins reportedly are interested in trading for Texans holdout defensive end Jadeveon Clowney, but Clowney reportedly wants to be dealt to either the Seahawks or the Eagles. So, Shannon, how big of a deal would it be for the Eagles to land Clowney?
It'd be over. It'd be Vince Carter in the dunk contest.
Over?
It's over.
Can he play quarterback?
It's over.
Oh, maybe he's that good. I don't know.
Pro Football Focus said the best pass rush unit going into the season was the Eagles. With Brandon Graham, Malik Jackson, Fletcher Cox, and Derek Barnett.
That's
before Jadeveon.
That is correct.
How's that go? Well, I mean, what that gonna go with the ball? Got no time.
He's going to hand it to Tony Pollard.
Okay. Yeah, I hope so.
Here, you take it. I don't want it. You take it.
I hope so. It's over.
Yeah.
Champs,
Really?
guaranteed. I get a Eagle Super Bowl tattoo.
You're going to get one?
When they signed Jadeveon Clowney.
Is that a vow?
They signed Jadeveon Clowney. It's done deal.
I thought you have no tattoos on your body.
None.
And you're going to get one in green?
No.
I'm going to hold you to it.
Yeah? I don't think so. So, I will admit, this horrifies me. The whole prospect of this, because of the 4 guys you just read, and you put that guy on top of those 4. Remember, they had Michael Bennett last year, and they had those 4, and somehow we beat them twice. I don't know how. Quarterback threw a party on them twice. I don't know. Injuries, you can say that. But I'll give this to Howie Roseman. Nobody assembles talent any better than Howie Roseman keeps attracting and signing talent. And I have no idea how they would squeeze this guy, Clowney, under their cap. But if you tagged him, he'd get 15.9, but he'd be right back where he started with the Texans. You're going to give him a long term?
Yeah, we give him like $40 million to sign.
Really?
Yeah.
So you guys don't have a salary cap?
What about
Dallas
Cowboys?
Does?
How
I don't get it.
Dak, Amari, and Zeke under the
will.
cap?
Just watch.
Exactly.
Just watch.
The same way y'all do it, we're gonna do it.
The only saving grace here is you're still stuck with Carson Wentz at quarterback. It's all about the quarterbacks, and I'll take mine over yours, so you better hold the tattoo because you'd have to wear it the rest of your life.
That's a great place to be stuck.
No mercy.
Thanks for listening to the Undisputed Podcast. I'm Jenny Taft. Join us again at the same time tomorrow morning, 9:30 Eastern. We'll see you then.
Fox Sports 1 of 1.